Roma are perceived to be one of the biggest clubs in Italy. However, when you take a deep dive into their history and into their trophy cabinet, it seems like they've actually not won too many trophies. Just 3 Serie A titles and 9 Coppa Italias, and their last Serie A coming back in 2001, even though over the last 20 seasons, they've only had 5 years out of the top 5 places in Italy. So really a club which have never taken the next step and becoming a European and Italian giant, and that is the goal today. However, that is certainly not an easy goal, as Jose Mourinho has just found out, being sacked by Roma as their manager. And as you look at the club's finances here on Football Manager, you can see £210 million worth of debt in the club and just £37 million in the bank. So today we're going to be rebuilding Roma using Wonderkids only, hopefully back to some Serie A trophies and hopefully even their first ever Champions League. So strap yourselves in for this AS Roma rebuild. And we are picking this up, of course, in the realistic January update. So we've got up-to-date transfers, we've got everything all done as it is in real life. And as of January the 1st, Roma was sitting in 7th place. Now in real life, that is 8th place. And things continue to go wrong, hence the sacking of Jose Mourinho. When you actually look through the squad, there is a lot of fantastic players here. Lukaku on loan, Renato Sanchez on loan, Diego Llorente, Rasmus Christensen and Sardar Uzmun all on loan, which again shows the financial frailties. A superstar player like Stefan El Shawari is getting up to 31 years of age. Paulo Dybala was a massive signing in the summer, but he's got a release clause of just £12 million and is 30 years of age as well, and £135,000 a week. So even our best players are not really going to cut the mustard. Spinazzola is the age of 30 years of age. Chris Smalling's 34. Rui Patricio in goal, 35. Lorenzo Pellegrini, who for me is one of the best players in the world, a fantastic central midfielder, 27 years of age. And to be honest, for this rebuild for 5 years, he will be absolutely perfect, because Italy isn't the most sort of fast pace. You need all the stamina in the world. It is a technical game here in Italy, and having good passing, good crossing, good mental attributes is what we need, and he's consistent and loves big match. So Lorenzo Pellegrini should be a superstar for the whole of this rebuild. But other than him, Brian Cristante, Mancini possibly, everyone else in this starting 11 is pretty much not going to be here in a year, 2 years time. And as you look through the bench, it's not like there's a whole plethora of Wonderkids either. Mile Silva is the backup goalkeeper. Evan Ndika is a fantastic young centre-back at 24 years of age. He should be very good for us. Nikola Zalewski is decent. Tammy Abraham's come from the back of like an 8-month cruciate ligament injury. He'll be back by the middle of February. Leandro Paredes, 29 years of age. Belotti, 30. Zeki Celik, 26. Eduardo Bove is hopefully going to be the Lorenzo Pellegrini double pivot as we move into the 4-2-3-1. This guy should come through the academy and be a superstar. Marsh Kumbula, 23 years of age, but probably not got the quality. And then a few players down here as well, including Hassan Uwa, who are just not good enough. And you head into the under-20s, again, saw about potential. There's 2 players here. One of them's on loan at us, so isn't going to even be our player. And one of them is Ricardo Solbes, who actually looks fantastic. Signed from Argentina and Defensa y Justicia. Very good pronunciation if you ask me. Here's a very consistent top performer, which I love to see. Decent finishing, decent pace, not very composed, but he is just 17 years of age. So hopefully Ricardo can turn into something. And under 18s wise, there is absolutely nothing. So it's a club which is sort of slowly dying. It is falling away from being a dominant club in Italy. And that is our goal, to take them to the next step. So we're not going to do anything here in January. We're going to keep things fairly reserved. No transfers coming in. I've not banned the transfer window, but I'm just simply not going to do anything. I'm going to let this middle of season 1 to the end of season 1 run, see if we can manage to lift our 2nd Europa League, see if we manage to lift our 10th Coppa Italia, and I don't think we're going to be winning the Serie A, but qualifying for the Europa League, possibly the Champions League, would be top results. That is only 4 points away, so there is a good chance. So let's get into it. Season 1 here at Roma. So the Coppa Italia ended incredibly abruptly with a 2-1 loss to Cagliari in just the 3rd round, which is incredibly frustrating, but could have even been a competition would have gone on to win, because the eventual winners were Fiorentina in a 2-1 victory against AC Milan. I'd like to think we're a better club than Fiorentina, so that's annoying. We didn't manage to take much of a battle to them for that one. In the Europa League, we ended up losing 7-4 in aggregate to Newcastle, who went on to not win it. Liverpool won it, and Newcastle lost somewhere in the semis or the quarterfinals. So again, not the greatest showing in the Europa League either, meaning both cup competitions we didn't go ahead and win. And in the league, we ended up finishing in 6th place, getting smashed by the team I thought would be better than Fiorentina, who finished 9 points above us on 72. We were fairly average for the second half of the season. I pretty much just plugged the 4-3-3 tactic in that I've created. It's a slight change to the 4-2-3-1 that you have seen. I've only dropped the midfielder back from an attack midfielder down to a centre attack to get in Renato Sanchez, Cristante and Pellegrini into this team. And it is a decent tactic. It does the job, but you can see based on the schedule for the second half of the season, it was pretty topsy-turvy. A few losses, a few wins, lots and lots of goals is exactly what to expect, but not the greatest of second half of the seasons. And 63 points, while respectable, and of course gets us back in the Europa League for season 2, is not fantastic. Now, what we are doing for this rebuild is rebuilding the club using Wonderkids only. So we're going to be using these 15 to 21-year-old recruitment focuses that I have got set up, and I have shown you guys time and time again, once on the Wonderkid video, Wonderkid scout video from December, and a few times in different rebuilds as well. So I won't go through it here today, but if you want to see the best way to scout Wonderkids from all over the world, whether it's Africa, Asia, South America, North America, Oceania, Europe, or South America, I think I said twice, feel free to go ahead and watch that video, and you can see already some of the players that are coming through. We should be able to get some bargains in. Now, currently wise money here at Roma, we have just £8 million in the bank and £33,000 negative in the wage budget, so we might have to go ahead and sell some players. But lucky for us, a few players are leaving the club thanks to their loans running out. But unlucky for us, the best person in the club this season, Roma Lukaku, scored 19 goals in 21 games, is not going to be sticking around. He is 31 years of age, a value of 37 million. So we're not going to be going ahead and signing big Rom, but it's good to see that a striker in this system with this team will work very, very well. I mean, Lukaku's stats are actually fantastic. I just think he's very injury prone and isn't going to be coming in here because this is a under-21s Wonderkid rebuild. Only Renato Sanchez was decent. He'll be leaving the club. Christensen, decent, leaving the club. Llorente and Asbin were both backups, of course, leaving the club. But one big thing that I have gone ahead and done is I've given a brand new contract to Paulo Dybala. Now, I wanted to get rid of that pesky release clause, just release clause of £12 million. I kept him on the exact same wages, which is lovely to go ahead and see. He's got a value of £50 million and he is wanted. So the reason that I've gone ahead and done this for Dybala is to hopefully raise some funds. We are in so much debt that if we can sell this guy for £40 million rather than £12 million, that is going to be absolutely pivotal. So throughout this summer, I'm going to try and sell him and just give ourselves a bit more money to go ahead and play with. But let's see what signings we can bring in for season 2. So we have sold £42 million worth of players, and the main person we have sold is Gianluca Mancini for £28 million, rising to 32 to Juventus. He was decent last season on 6.86, but a 28-year-old Italian international who is very consistent and his stats are absolutely fantastic. Or you have to take the money for him. That is an absolute massive sum here at Roma. 32 million quid will go a hell of a long way. We sold players like Aouar, Solbach and Kambula for a grand total of 10 million to take us to that 42 million. And from there, we started our Wonderkid purchase. The number one was Jair from Brazil, 1 million measly pounds from Santos. He will probably never become a starting centre-back, but over the years, hopefully he can progress into a very good centre-back for us. I have done a Santos rebuild on the channel, and this guy turned into an absolute beast. He's got 18 jump and reach and 12 head in, and he's 6'6". So corners-wise, this guy's fantastic, and I hope for £1 million he can turn into something here at Roma as well. Even if it is just a good squad player for us, that fits the bill. For £1 million, I cannot turn my nose up at that one. Alexis Tabidi is my next signing for £6 million. We have signed him from Troyes. He is an absolute bargain for £6 million and a 7.03 average rating last season in the second tier of France. And we're bringing him into Roma to be a pretty much starter/rotational option in the wing roles. He's got 16 flair, 13 determination, great pace, 6'2", and also can dribble, finish, and cross as well. So I like him a hell of a lot. And throughout this rebuild, hopefully, I'm going to show you guys some different Wonderkids to go ahead and sign. I don't think I signed anyone other than maybe one or two, which were like your bog standard Wonderkids to go and sign. I think I've done quite a good job of going ahead and signing players that I've never personally brought, and you guys will hopefully get into your saves for cheap and be absolutely fantastic. Just like Alejandro Iturbe, this guy is an Atletico Madrid goalkeeper, 20 years of age, played 38 games in the third tier of Spain of Atletico Madrid because he's in 36 goals and 7.51. Well, guess what, Iturbe? You're my starting goalkeeper because I've also got rid of Rui Patricio, and 20 years of age with these stats, he's a leading Serie C goalkeeper. He's getting chucked in and he is going to be our guy. I would rather try and grow our own keeper than use Miles Villa. This guy's good, but he's now 24 years of age. Iturbe's got more room to grow. He's a worse keeper right now, let's be honest. But hopefully season 3, season 4, he'll overtake him in terms of his stats and be a fantastic goalkeeper for us. And genuinely, I think this guy's decent. He's very good in the stats that matter. Green in all of his green stats, pretty much 13 plus, which is great to see. And hopefully he can be a good keeper for us. 6'1", a little bit worrying on the small side, but hopefully he can be good. Diego Coppola is my next signing, a young 20-year-old centre-back signed from Hellas Verona, just £5.75 million, and is my Gianluca Mancini replacement. He is very, very good, 6'4", so a big boy, consistent, and for an absolute bargain of a release clause of £6 million, it's hard to turn someone down like Coppola. And then into a big signing of Datro Fofana. This guy looks fantastic on this year's FM, and last year's FM, he was the go-to guy to go and get, as Chelsea did in real life for just £1 million. He's done pretty much nothing out on loan this season, I believe, at Union Berlin, and now he's gone to Leicester, I want to say, but we've signed him here at Roma for just £24 million, which is a lot of money to go ahead and spend, but this guy can turn into a superstar, and I have not signed him on this year's FM once. Last year's FM, a constant signing. This year's FM, because obviously he's moved to Chelsea and things haven't gone so well for him, a lot of people aren't talking about him, but with 16 acceleration, 16 pace, 16 determination, 16 flair, and great dribbling, finishing, first touch, 5'11", consistent player, Datro Fofana could turn in to an absolute superstar, and hopefully here at Roma we can facilitate him doing that. Now money is tight here at Roma, and the other wing spot also needed replacing because El Shaarawy just isn't the guy. So Bradley Barcola's come in, but on a loan deal. So this one was very, very cheap, £1.7 million. A little bit of tomfoolery. He's 21 years of age. He's not actually a signing for us. So, you know, it's a Wonderkid rebuild with a couple of loans sprinkled in. Forgive me, but we need to take this team to the next level. And someone like Bradley, great pace, great determination, great dribbling, finishing, first touch. If you actually compare him to Datro Fofana in the stats that I've just read out, they're very, very similar. This guy's got a value of £55 million, and Datro was just 24, so it was signed one or the other, and we decided to go with big Datro. Now, the cover star of this rebuild, you might know who it is, you might not. It's Lucas Bergvall, and this guy is linked to every club in the world in real life, to Barcelona, to Manchester United, to Bayern Munich, and on your saves, he's probably moved from Djurgården's IF in Sweden, but he is spoken about at a ridiculously high level over in Sweden because he is a supreme talent. Now, we have signed him on loan for £250,000, but as you can see from the loan contract, we have got a optional purchase fee of 1.5 million, which, yes, are we purchasing pretty much instantly. Now, he wouldn't want to talk to me because he just signed a brand new contract, so to get around that, I decided to offer them a loan fee, which basically paid what they paid for him in transfers wise, and then gave them, you know, quadruple the amount of money that they just paid for him. So an absolute no-brainer for Djurgårdens to go ahead and sell him for that sort of price. Great determination, great acceleration, great pace, great first touch, dribbling. His stats are fantastic. I think in the winter update, this guy is going to get his potential. I mean, because it looks like based on the star ratings, about 150-ish. I think he's going to go up to like a 180. He's going to be like an Esteval or a Pablo Enrique from Palmeiras. He's going to be absolute Luis Enrique, sorry, from Palmeiras. He's going to be fantastic. His stats are outrageous already in that determination, and Model Citizen is fantastic. I think he'll get a big old boost in the winter update though. So if you can, pick him up for now. And then the last signing, and someone that sadly isn't going to play a single game this season, is Victor Hugo. And the reason he's not going to sign in a single game is because I forgot about the non-EU slots here in Italy, which is very, very frustrating. But luckily, Victor Hugo's not going to get angry. He's not going to cry. He joined knowing that by the looks of it, and sadly he come registered. But a signing of £9 million from Flamengo. Again, I've never seen this guy. I don't know. I would like to say I do a lot of rebuilds. I do a lot of transfers. I would like to say I know a lot of players as a Football Manager. If I don't know someone, it's quite weird. So the fact that I don't know who this guy is, 20 years of age, 16 determination, great consistency, all of his green sort of highlighted stats are all absolutely brilliant. Dribbling, first touch, anticipation, decision-making, flair, off the ball work. 6 foot tall, consistent. Victor Hugo is going to be a stud for us next season, hopefully, because I did not manage to sell Paulo Dybala. So Dybala's going to slot into this cam role we have spoken about in the 4-2-3-1. But next season, hopefully, we can make that Victor Hugo. Now, the team for us here is Iturbe in goal, Zeki Celik, Chris Smalling, Diego Coppola, Nikola Javuski, Christianse and Pellegrini. I am retreading to both be in CDM at ball midfielder and deep lying, defensive midfielder. Datro Fofana on the right, Barcola on the left, Dybala in cam, and Tammy Abraham is going to get the nod up front. Now, last season when he come back from injury, didn't score a single goal in 8 games. I tried to sell him but a value of £26 million. It was very difficult to try and find a replacement for that. So he is still here at the club, and he is our starting number 9. And the backups, we're looking at Miles Villa, Rick Karsdorp, Evan Ndika, Jair, Matias Vinha, Leandro Paredes, Eduardo Bove, Alexis Tabili, Victor Hugo, El Shaarawy, and Belotti. Now, obviously, Bergvall is going to come in instead of Hugo and play some games. So we'll see what we can go ahead and do for season number 2. Competitions-wise, we are in the wonderful Europa League, the Coppa Italia, and the Serie A. So it'll be nice to lift a trophy this season, a Europa League or Coppa Italia. Let's be honest, we're not quite at winning Serie A level just yet. So let's see what we can do in this season. Well, we had quite the resurgent season in the Serie A, becoming the top team on goal difference and 81 points, which is a big 14 points away from AC Milan as they nearly go invincible with just one loss all season. That was away against Lazio. But a fantastic season for us, clear of Lazio, Fiorentina, Juventus, Torino, all in the lower competitions in Europe. But we were fantastic on 81 points. And I'm very happy to say we are finally back in the Champions League, which is great to see. Now, one thing we are not going to be able to do in this rebuild, I don't reckon, is win the Europa League, because hopefully from now on we stay in the Europa League, in the Champions League. But yeah, we have lost in the quarterfinals again, this time to Villarreal 3-2 on aggregate. And the winners of this one were Feyenoord, who beat Nice in the final, and Villarreal lost to Feyenoord. And I'd like to think we'd absolutely batter Feyenoord, because they're the second best team in the Eredivisie, and I think we'd absolutely smash that league. So that's very, very frustrating that we have not gone ahead and won the Europa League. And even here in the Coppa Italia, we got semi-final 5-0 on aggregate by the most dominant team in Italy, AC Milan, who did the Coppa Italia and the double of the Serie A. So that is very, very frustrating. Out of interest, how did they go ahead and do in Europe? They got to the Champions League round of 16 and lost to Aston Villa. So the Italian league is clearly absolutely muddied. Now, in terms of players that were fantastic this season, Tammy Abraham scored 0 goals last season, 27 this season, which is great to go ahead and see, and 4 assists. But don't worry, Tammy is not going to be the starting striker for the whole of this rebuild. We are going to bring in a couple of absolute studs to go ahead and replace him up top. Paulo Dybala this season in Cam, 19 goals, 13 assists. That value must be looking tasty. £52 million now wanted by the wonderful world of Saudi Arabia. So hopefully we can say goodbye to Paulo Dybala at 31 years of age for around 50 million quid. That would be great. Datro Fofana, 17 goals and 10 assists, a fantastic season. And Bradley Barcola, obviously just here on loan. No chance of buying him because he's so expensive, but 14 goals and 6 assists, was a fantastic player. I locked in Nikola Jaluski at left back because he kept playing at left wing, so I locked him in at left back for this rebuild, and he's been great. 8 goals and 12 assists down there. Pellegrini was fantastic with 16 assists, and overall, the brand new goalkeeper Alejandro Iturbe, I think, had a fantastic season. 54 games, just 56 goals conceded, a 6.96 average rating. Still now a good Serie B player, starting to go up in lots and lots of stats. And I think we are onto something by having him as our main goalkeeper. Alexis Tabidi didn't really start many games, but 19 off the bench was fairly decent. And Jair, again, just here at the club, had lots of games in the under-20s, and for the under-20s, he played a 7.06, so it's fairly decent for Jair, which I'm quite happy with. And I think I did the same with Tabidi. Maybe not, I didn't indeed. Now, what I like to do to sometimes develop Wonderkids that I know I'm going to play, like Jair, I will make him available for the under-20 squad for 90 minutes all the time. That's how they get lots of game time in non-competitive games. You can see down here that is the under-20s team, but they still go ahead and train with the first team, so they get them sort of maximum training facilities, and that's another good way to develop your Wonderkids. The rest of the players we went ahead and signed, if I can see anyone here, Diego Coppola was very decent, played 40 games overall, a 6.96 average rating. Lucas Bergvall, 8 off the bench, 2 goals and 2 assists, and yes, he is joining us for £1.8 million and has developed quite well already, so hopefully we can see him become an absolute superstar. Finances wise, we've done absolutely nothing to take down the debt. We are now £245 million in debt and £26 million in debt over here as well, so the money is not looking good here at Roma. So the board have given us a measly £12 million to go and spend, and our superstar centre-back Chris Smalling is leaving a free contract to Brighton after not renewing his contract here at Roma. So this is going to be a difficult rebuild. We are literally relying on our scouts going and finding us Wonderkids, and hopefully they're good enough here in the Serie A. So let's get into it. A big transfer window ahead for season 3. And that is what we needed. £47.5 million. Paulo Dybala goes off to Al Ahly and is going to go ahead and earn £650,000 a week. So I think as a Roma fan, if you're watching this, you can't grumble. He's given us a couple of fantastic seasons here in Italy, including last season, taking us back to the Champions League. He's gone ahead and 5 times his wages, and he is now going to go ahead and earn an absolute bag in Saudi Arabia. But thank you, Paulo Dybala. You may have just saved AS Roma. Now, number 1 signing is a loan signing from Chelsea of Romeo Lavia. This guy is absolutely fantastic. £1.2 million to come in on loan for the season, be a rotational option with Cristante, with Pellegrini, and with Eduardo Bove. Lavia should hopefully be very, very helpful in that CDM role. A centre-back I've signed potentially to be a backup along with Jair, because our centre-backs are quite set, is Gonçalo of Villarreal. This guy is £500,000 from Benfica. He looks decent. He come up with my scout report. He wasn't quite as good as the scout report said he was going to be, but he's okay. He hopefully can turn into a decent rotational option for us, and he's consistent, which I quite like. So Gonçalo Oliveira, if you guys are doing a save somewhere around the world and you want a brand new centre-back to go ahead and sign, you've never signed before, he might be an absolute banger for you. Now, to go ahead and rival Zalewski at left-back is Patrick Dorgu, signed from Lecce for just £5.75 million. A release clause again, and something which always you have to go ahead and exploit here in Italy. The release clauses are fantastic to go ahead and get, and we nearly got done with the Dybala one, but use your brains. Do not set your release clauses too low, but go and buy everyone else that's too low. He is fantastic. He's 5'9", great pace, great crossing, dribbling, and defensive stats are decent as well. Determined, balanced personality, no consistency or anything, but just a fairly standard left back, and for a bargain fee of £6 million, I cannot grumble at. And someone that's come in to sort of be a backup winger, backup left back, backup right back, backup centre mid, backup striker is Harvey Vale on a free contract. This guy just seems a bit like a no-brainer to go ahead and get in. We needed an extra position to cover off both wings, and he's also can cover off at left back as well. And for a free signing, why not get him in? So yeah, not the most attractive signing to go ahead and get in, but he did come in. And just to confirm as well, Lucas Bergvall we signed for £1.8 million. He is here potential-wise showing just 3.5 star. He's already 2.5 star. He's 19 years of age. Trust me. Go ahead and sign Lucas Bergvall and watch him grow in to a superstar in your saves. A signing that I've also not signed once on this year's FM is Garancool from Newcastle. He looks fantastic. Great pace, great determination, great finishing, first touch, and dribbling. I never signed this guy because he never really grows, and as you can see from this save, he's not really grown so far either. A good Serie B player, potentially Serie A quality. He is very, very consistent, however, and for just £12.25 million, I think could be an absolute superstar and a bit of a player that, to go ahead and get. And I've got a bit of a thing at the moment since doing the Moneyball rebuild of looking at stats a lot more rather than what the scouts say. And if you look at this guy's stats as an inside forward on support, 16 acceleration, 16 agility, 16 pace, 12 off the ball, 12 technique, 12 first touch, 13 finishing, 15 dribbling, an ambitious, determined striker. For me, he fits the bill to go ahead and score 15, 20 goals and get 10 assists in this season here at Roma. So Garancool hopefully can be a superstar for us. And then all the money we got from Paulo Dybala has gone into locking in our right back position for the rest of this rebuild. Michael Chiode has come in. He's a 20-year-old Italian right back. He is one of the ones that you guys will know about. Attacking wing back on the right-hand side, Dorgu on the left-hand side. They will suit each other very, very well. And yes, it's very, very, very expensive, but he is superb and has got a value now of £130 million, and he's going to be the best right back in the world. Meaning the team now looks something like this. It's Iturbe in goal, Coyote, Ndika, Coppola, Zalewski, Pellegrini, Cristante, Cool, Fofana, Victor Hugo, and Abraham up front. The first team looks very, very strong. A lot of brand new players and a lot of players that, again, I don't sign. This front three, I never signed behind Abraham. Coyote, to be fair, I personally never signed. Iturbe, I never signed. As you look for the backups, Milesh Villa, Zeki Celik, Oliveira and Jair, Dorgu, Eduardo Bove, Lavia, Harvey Vale, Lucas Bergvall, Tabidi, and Ricardo Solbes, the youngster who we have had here at the club from the very start, is back in the team. Now, he had a decent loan spell last season out in the Serie C, doing a 7.03 average rating, scoring 9 goals. So maybe he can be a good backup for Tammy Abraham. So that is the signings for season 3. How's it going to fare? Have we strengthened too weak? We've obviously got the Champions League this season, so lots and lots of rotation is going to be needed. Let's see how we do. And I just want to say a massive thank you to the Patreon legends on screen right now. They are the paid patrons, which help make this channel what it is today. They have helped pretty much supply the microphone, helped go towards the PC. The setup we have got is pretty much all from Patreon members and them signing up. And you guys, if you want to help support the channel and help me keep improving the setup and keep trying to make this YouTube journey my absolute dream job, hopefully one day we can go full time, and you've got no idea how much Patreon can help. Just sort of £5 a month is an absolute game changer. You do get a lot for it as well. The rebuilds, we release 2 or 3 a week, and you get the files for the rebuild, so you can go ahead and carry them on Football Manager. So if you are watching this Roma rebuild and you want to go ahead and pick up from season 5 at the end of this rebuild, or even say season 2, season 1, season 3, or season 4, they're all available on Patreon for you guys to go ahead and pick up from that point. So you don't have to start rebuilding Roma from the start. You can pick them up down in season number 5, and then we massively appreciate if anyone can head down there and help support me out. And there is also a brand new free section on Patreon as well, which again I'd implore people to go ahead and sign up for if you are a fan of the channel. It will give you like sort of notifications when a video comes out direct from Patreon, and it's absolutely free to go ahead and sign up. And you might see a reward file on there which you also do want to go ahead and play with, and like I said, it helps support me out massively. So a massive thank you to the legends on screen, and a massive thank you to anyone that's just listened to me have the biggest spiel in the world. Let's get on to season 3. Welcome in Coppa Italia number 10. Season 3 is where we finally lift a brand new trophy, and we're going to go ahead and go 1-0 down thanks to a Fiorentina goal, but we're going to see a couple of Wonderkids come in and steal the show. A ball out to Patrick Dorgu, the left-hand side, gets a fantastic ball into the box, and little Lucas Bergvall gets himself in there and finishes at home to make things 1-1. Coyote's then going to drive down the right-hand side, get a ball in the box, and Dacio Fofana is going to be there to make it 2-1. And Roma lift the Coppa Italia in a dominant game against Fiorentina. They were our rivals in season 1, beating us in the Champions League. We smashed them last season, and this season the Coppa Italia, we gave them an absolute C2, and one that I'm very, very happy with. And as you actually look through the starting team as well, as a Turbe in goal, Zeki Celik, Gapola, Gonçalo Oliveira and Dorgu as the back 4, Lavia and Paredes in midfield, Garan Cool at right wing, Alexis Tabidi at left wing, Pellegrini in cam, and Dacio Fofana up front. So a very different team to what you might expect us to go ahead and play. Coyote did come on in the 55th minute, Victor Hugo at half-time, Jaluski in the 61st, Jair come on at half-time as well for Oliveira, and Bergvall in the 67th minute. 5 minutes later goes ahead and scores a goal to equalise for us here at Roma, and a massive trophy to go ahead and tick off. And I tell you what we've done in the Champions League is simply ridiculous. We'll go to the league phase where we finished in 16th place, 4 wins and 4 losses, losing to Chelsea, Leipzig, Porto, Antwerp, beating Sevilla, Wolfsburg, Bayern Munich and Sociedad. So a very good run in the league phase. Go to the knockout playoff round, and we battered Feyenoord 8-0, which shows last year's Europa League final, if we got there, would have certainly gone ahead and won that one. An 8-0 victory is very, very impressive. Run of 16, a 5-3 victory on aggregate against Leipzig. Again, very, very impressive. Quarterfinals, we go ahead and beat Liverpool 6-1 on aggregate. An outstanding result for us here at Roma, which takes us in to the semi-finals against Real Madrid. We head to the Santiago Bernabeu and get battered 3-1. Osimhen, Rodrigo, Bellingham scoring all 3 goals. Alexis Tabide for us, and sadly a Dacio Fofana missed penalty makes that game 3-1, and we had to take it back to the Stadio Olimpico to get into the final, where we actually went ahead and drew 2-2. It was a Dacio Fofana and a Patrick Dorgu goal, but Jude Bellingham and Victor Osimhen were just too strong. And sadly, the Champions League was not coming home to Rome. But they did go ahead and go home to Manchester City, because they went ahead and beat Real Madrid in the final, which is funny. You beat us, but you can't even beat silly little small club relegated down to League 2, Manchester City. I am not a salty Manchester United fan. I do not know what gives you the impression that I support United. And now as we go into the Serie A, this season was fantastic. 88 points, top of the league, and the first time winning the Serie A since 2001 comes home to AS Roma. 88 points, 63 goal difference, 6 losses, 4 draws, 28 wins, and Super Tammy Abraham with 22 goals was outstanding. 27 overall, 2 assists in 44 games, and was the Serie A's top goal scorer. And clean sheets is our little man Alejandro Iturbe, 22 years of age now, is becoming a fantastic goalkeeper and kept the most clean sheets in the whole of Italy. 31 clean sheets in 61 games is very, very, very impressive. Given the fact as well, I'd like to say we haven't signed the superstar centre-back Capola for £5 million. Evan Ndika's here, a value at the start of around £9 million. We signed Jair for £1 million and Gonçalo Oliveira for £500,000. We're just keeping lots and lots of clean sheets. Lorenzo Pellegrini, a 7.44, an average rating, second this season. 14 goals and 12 assists was incredibly impressive. He is wanted by Al Nassr. He is not going to Al Nassr. He is going to be staying here for as long as I can keep him here. Lucas Bergvall in the games he played was our second best performer this season. 8 goals, 6 assists in 18 starts, 16 of the bench. He is progressing outrageously well. And again, I implore you guys, pick this guy up on your saves. He is absolutely fantastic. And Michael Kayode, 16 assists, proving that £40 million to be a bit of a bargain. And if he's a bargain, Patrick Dorgu for £6 million is an absolute bargain. 7 assists and 4 goals. And Dika was very good this season. Romeo Lavia played a lot of games, 5 goals and 7 assists. Sadly, obviously won't be joining the club now, but a good loan signing to help take us to the next step and win the Serie A. Zeki Celik was very good this season. Dash Fofana, 12 goals and 8 assists. Alexis Tabidi, 13 goals and 10 assists. Again, remember we signed this guy for £6 million at the start from Troyes in France, and he is slowly progressing into being a fantastic little winger for us. So very happy with him. And Garang Cool this season, 25 starts, 21 off the bench, 11 goals, 5 assists, just under a 7 average rating, but is progressing nicely. And again, very confident we can get this guy to be an absolute superstar. So hopefully he can carry on his good business. And that's pretty much it in terms of our superstars. Even Harvey Vale started a game this season and got 15 games on the bench. So respect to Harvey. And finally, actually, Gonçalo Oliveira, £500,000 we signed him for. 10 starts, 18 off the bench, 6.76. Very impressed with the 19-year-old from Benfica. A very cheap signing and one I'm incredibly happy with. We have just won the Serie A. We now need to go ahead and win the Champions League. We've got Season 4 and Season 5 to go ahead and do it. Can we keep sort of winning the Serie A as well? We're going to take sort of a back-to-back as we finish off this rebuild. We've got £48 million and £45,000 in wage budget to hopefully go ahead and do it. The debt has come down to £173 million and we've got £70 million in the bank. So we're slowly getting there in fixing Roma in terms of finances, and of course in the league we are smashing it. So let's see, Season 4, can we take the next step again to the Champions League winners? And well, I'm going to have to do it without Tammy Abraham, because I decided Tammy Abraham was not going to be our superstar striker for this whole rebuild, and I think now is the time to go ahead and get him gone. And to be honest, as I look at him as an advanced forward, he doesn't fit the bill down to an absolute T. He's 6'5", he's got good finishing, good composure, is fairly quick, but isn't an absolute advanced forward, playing on the last man, sort of driving through sort of after the ball goes over the top, etc. And the only thing we could do for him was loan him out to Aston Villa for £1.7 million. And they have got an option to buy him for £51 million. That would be fantastic if they do, but we had no money from selling Tammy Abraham, so we couldn't go ahead and bring in an absolute superstar. So only 3 signings were made this summer, and number 1 is Antonio Nusa. This guy is heavily linked to Tottenham Hotspur in real life, and if you guys do want to see a Tottenham Hotspur rebuild, that'll be coming out on Sunday on the channel, so make sure to keep your eyes peeled for that one. Antonio Nusa was 16 flair, 17 agility, 15 acceleration, great pace, great crossing, great dribbling, great burst touch. Is going to be a very good rotation option with Garang Cool on that right hand side, and for just £27 million from Belgium, when he's been absolutely smashing it over there, I think is a decent price to go ahead and pick him up for, and hopefully he can become a superstar for us. A DM signing to replace Lavia after last season's fantastic loan is Luca Lippiani. This guy was a signing for just £10 million from Sassuolo. He's been a bit part player over there and will continue to do the exact same over here. He's consistent, he's very well rounded, he's got great jump and reach, he's 6'2", and hopefully can be a bit of a defensive stalwart for us. But the signing that I am most interested in, and you guys are interested in, to who is coming in to replace Tammy Abraham up front, is Francesco Pio Esposito. Yes, not someone you might expect to come in up front. He's 6'2", he's got great heading, he's not the exact striker that I was speaking about when replacing Tammy Abraham, but this guy, I think, could be one of the best strikers on the game. He's got great composure, great finishing, and great pace. He's consistent. £15 million is all we spent on him. Right now, when your saves, he's on loan at Spezia as well at the game, and it's at Inter Milan. And I don't think I've ever signed Francesco Esposito. I've signed Sebastian a lot, but never Francisco. And hopefully we can turn this guy into an absolute superstar. I think he has the potential to be one of the best strikers on the game, and hopefully we can do that over Season 4 and Season 5, because he's got to lead the line for this team who have just won the Serie A, and the team looks like so. Iturbe, Coyote, Zalewski, Ndika, Coppola, Cristante, Pellegrini, Nusa, Victor Hugo, Fofana and Esposito. Backups of Svia, Zeki Celik, Jair, Oliveira, Dorgu, Bove, Lipiani, Kuhl, Bergvall, Tabidi and Solbes. Certainly a young, refreshed Roma side. If we look through the average age of this club now, we have turned things right around. Lots of 21-year-olds, pretty much all under 24. A few older heads that have been here from the very start, but we are doing a fantastic job. We're currently not having many players come through the academy on sort of who are doing bits. The under-20s is pretty weak, and the under-18s, there's a few here like Daniele Silvestri, Fabio De Franceschi and Capuzio, who will look okay, but probably aren't going to get anywhere in this rebuild. So don't really expect any absolute wonder kids if you do go ahead and sign up from Patreon, which is a surprise because 4-star youth recruitment, 4-star youth facilities, 4.5-star training facilities. A shame we can't really get any of them to be, you know, an absolute superstar here at Roma. Now, obviously, the main thing of this season is winning the Champions League. Last season, we got to the semi-finals. I would like to get to the final this season and potentially even win it. Obviously, the Serie A would be great to win again. The Super Cup would be nice to tick off the list, and the Coppa Italia, of course, to go back-to-back would be lovely. To Season 4, what can we win this time? Well, we kick the season off against our save rivals of Fiorentina, and a 1-goal lead takes us 1-0 up in this one in the Super Cup. And Fofana for them, I thought I was about to say dash of Fofana in purple then. I was getting confused, but it goes to 1-0 as Fiorentina get a goal back. Zeki Celik, the left-hand side, gets a ball back to Bove, back to Celik. Celik with the ball back to the edge of the box, and Coyote with a fantastic shot, which Esposito knocks home to make it 2-1. Fiorentina are going to pick us back again to make it 2-0. Giorco sends it to the edge of the box for Fran Beltran to go ahead and sign. If you guys have never used Beltran, again, a fantastic sign. And Pellegrini whips the ball in, and Ndika heads home for 3-2, and we do go ahead and lift the Super Coppa Italia, which is great to go ahead and win because that is another trophy just ticked off and gets the season off to the right foot. In the middle of January, always good to tick off a trophy like that one. Now, the Coppa Italia last season we were fantastic in and got to the final and went ahead and won it. This season again, we managed to get to the final and faced off against AC Milan, where a 3-2 victory saw us winners again. 3-2 seems to be quite the scoreline on this Roller team. Zalewski gets the byline and finds a great ball into Victor Hugo, who gets an early goal in 8 minutes, and guess what? He's going to double his tally as well as us. As we get another ball in, a ball deflected against the keeper, and Hugo is there to tap home again, and we're going to take a 3-goal lead with Tabidi getting on the left-hand side, beats his man, cuts it into that right foot. £6 million, remember, ladies and gentlemen. What a goal that was. AC Milan are going to go ahead and score a couple now. Ricky down the byline finds Chukwueze. Malik 4 with a great finish from the edge of the box from a centre-back. Makes no sense. Absolutely disgusting that goal was even allowed to go ahead and stand. And Chao Enrique finds Charles de Cadalera to Musa to Rafael to make it 3-2. But we held strong and we went ahead and won this. Again, dominant in terms of shots. XG was us as well, and possession-wise pretty much fairly split. And the team again for this save was not quite as you'd expect. Iturbe, Coyote, Cristante at centre-back next to Ndika, Zalewski at left-back, Bove, Pellegrini, Nusa on the right, Tabidi on the left, Hugo in cam, and Esposito up front, and that was the Coppa Italia. And then we check out the Serie A, and again, we've absolutely gone ahead and smashed it, nearly hitting a Centurion season, 99 points. What I've done to turn one of these games into a win. I mean, home to Udinese and home to Parma, surely we can pick up 3 points. Absolutely gutted, but an unbelievable season. A 90 goal difference. Yes, 90 because we scored 111 goals and conceded just 21 goals. Possession-wise, we're nowhere to be seen because we're not looking to keep possession. We're looking to go ahead and batter teams on the counter-attack. And Esposito, yeah, he's very, very good. 24 goals in the league this season. 36 goals in just 32 starts. And as you can see from these stats already, he's becoming a bit of a stud. Already got a cap for Italy now. Leading Serie A striker. 5-star potential. Is going to be that guy. Again, if you guys have not signed him on your saves, go ahead and sign Francisco Bio Esposito because he is fantastic. And Dacia Fofana this season with 30 goals and 12 assists was just as good. Unbelievable pace, determination, flair, finishing, etc. You know, this guy from last year, use him this year as well. He is fantastic. Unbelievable in the Champions League as well for us, which was great to go ahead and see. Coyote with the best average rating, 16 assists and 8 goals. Again, £40 million, looks like a bit of a bargain. Dorgu was there as well, and Pellegrini with 15 assists yet again, being an absolute legend for us. But it was Victor Hugo who picked up the most player of the matches with 7 overall, 15 goals and 11 assists in 48 games. And again, look at this guy's stats. He is just 20 years of age for your save. You pick him up for just £9.5 million and you have got a European superstar in Victor Hugo. So go ahead, pick him up. He is a demon. So a fantastic run in the Serie A, a fantastic run in the Coppa Italia, a fantastic win in the Supercoppa final, and a quarter-final loss in the Champions League to Barcelona 6-1 on aggregate is not what I wanted to see based on how the season had gone so far. So it means season 5 is the only time we can win the Champions League, and sadly season 4 is not where we go ahead and lift it. There's absolutely no surprise who leads the average ratings charts for us this season. It is of course Marco Coyote and Esposito as the top 2. Dorgu in 3rd place, Hugo Fofana, Zeki Celik, Alexis Tabidi, Silva, Pellegrini, Iturbe, still a fantastic goalkeeper, and his stats are growing incredibly as well. Now a value of £40 million. Is unhappy because he's just on £19,000 a week and needs to get a big old pay increase. So Alejandro, do not worry. But remember at the start, we compared this guy to Miles Villar and decided he was going to be our starting goalkeeper. I've actually never clicked this button. He is now a better goalkeeper, better shot stopping, better distribution, same aerial, better communication, better mentals, a better goalkeeper. And again, sometimes you just have to trust your little Wonderkid goalkeepers to come in, start them every game. Goalkeepers seem to grow quite quickly, so trust your Wonderkid goalkeeper. They really don't make too much of a difference on this game. If your goalkeeper is absolutely awful, sometimes for me it doesn't really matter and they will just do well anyway. 7.02 being like what he is, an okay Serie A goalkeeper, winning the league, getting to the quarterfinal of the Champions League. I think if you have a well-protected defence, he will absolutely smash it for you. And in terms of centre-backs this season, again, looking at Coppola playing most of our games, yeah, with just a start, but Oliveira, 500k with 4 starts. Ndika was fantastic for us, and I mean, from that, Cristiante played a few games at the back as well. Zalewski with 14 goals and 10 assists was brilliant. Nusa, 4 and 10, who was good as well. Ricardo Solbes hardly played for us. Garan Cool, 9 and 1. Maybe not going to make that next step, but I still stand by he could be an absolute superstar, so we'll keep him at the club and go into season 5. We need to win the Champions League to complete the Roma rebuild. Well, finally, the sale of Tammy Abraham of £35 million is certainly going to help us rebuild. He's head off to Saudi Arabia as well, earning £600,000 a week. So good luck to Tammy over in Saudi. We signed just 3 players in this summer window, very, very reserved. A backup left back in Christopher Brun. He is a Wonderkid from Stade de Reims who looks absolutely fantastic and yeah, very good 5-star potential left back to come in and be a backup. Wisdom Ame was brought in to be a bit of a better backup centre-back, Italian, 21 years of age, again, very cheap at £12 million. This season was really about sort of just improving their rotation options. And the final one is Nestore Erancuda. He is signed for Bayern Munich in real life and looks fantastic. 20 agility, 16 acceleration, 16 flair, good enough attributes as well. And again, a bargain of £12.5 million. Hopefully, he can be very, very good for us. I mean, he's not really thrived so far on FM, but he's another player that I think in the winter update will get a big old increase. And again, the team doesn't look so different. Iturbe in goal, Coyote, Ndika, Coppola, Dorgu, Pellegrini, Bove, Irancuda, Hugo Fofana, Esposito, Sevilla, Zeki Celik, Jair, Ame, Brun, Lipiani, Cristiante, Tabidi, Bergval, Nusa and Garan Cool. Bergval has been a little bit slow over the last couple of years. Last season, just a 6.79 average rating. But like I said, winter update, this guy will get a big old increase. So if you're sitting here watching this end of February, early March, I think this is when the update's going to come out. Look for Lucas Bergval. And if you're looking at him now and you're watching this as it comes out in the middle of January, then go ahead and sign him anyway and use him, because if you play him in more games than I have, he'll progress into a superstar. If you play him every game, I assure you have one of the best central midfielders on the game at your club. So season 5, like I said, the Champions League is the goal. And we started that Champions League run by sneaking in to the top 8 in the league phase on 16 points. 5 wins, 1 draw and 2 losses against Dortmund and Liverpool away from home. But a fantastic start means we miss out on the knockout playoff round and go straight to the round of 16 with a 4-2 victory over Atletico Madrid, 4-0 in our leg, which is exactly what we needed because it looked like we weren't going to be doing very well indeed. And a little bit of a spoiler of how we have done in the Champions League is Esposito scoring 18 goals in the Champions League, and again making it known that he is one of the best Wonderkid strikers on the game. Quarterfinal wise, Tottenham Hotspur, we battered them 4-1 on aggregate, and semi-finals wise, Manchester City 8-4 on aggregate, we battered them. The first leg against Manchester City was absolutely outrageous, a 6-1 victory, yes, 6-1, where Francesco Pio Esposito bagged 4 goals against Manchester City. Tabidi with 1, 23 shots to their 2. This team is ridiculous, and again, I have to say the whole team again, because I stress this is not an absolute top side, but Iturbe in goal, Celik, Coppola, Ndika, Zalewski, Bove, Pellegrini, Nusa, Hugo, Tabidi and Esposito. You've seen what we've done with transfers. We have not been wild, but we have gone ahead and got to a Champions League final, finally, because it has taken quite some time to get us to this level. We go ahead and face against our arch rivals, Real Madrid, who we keep getting knocked out by, and Jude Bellingham, again, starts this game off with a Real Madrid penalty in 3 minutes and gets them an early lead. But Esposito finds Dorgu, finds Cristante to Dorgu, the left-hand side. Is going to do the classic from this tactic. Whip it in, and the back stick. Esposito is there to knock it home. And in the 86th minute, we're going to get a stroke of luck. Gatcho Fofana finds Coyote, goes ahead, shoots, deflected off Eder Militao into the back of the net, and we win the Champions League final against Real Madrid. An unbelievable rebuild, signing Wonderkids that I don't really use too much, and that is just in the Champions League. You have not seen the half of Season 5 yet. And that's because, of course, we were buzzing to win the Champions League, but there was an even bigger high-pressure game waiting to go ahead and happen. That's because us and Milan finished on the exact same points. It come down to a playoff game, and we battered them 3-0 to win back-to-back Serie A titles. A defensive mistake there, and Alexis Tabidi makes it 3-0 in 32 minutes' time. The Serie A playoff, I have never seen this on this game, and Siri thinks I'm talking to him. You say Serie A, and Siri starts talking. Shut your mouth, sunshine. 84 points. Was a decent season, but the exact same as AC Milan's. We both had 26 wins, both had 6 draws, both had 6 losses. We smashed them on goal difference, but that doesn't count in Italy. You have to go to a playoff, and of course we battered them, which is great to see. A nice Roma trio up here in the top right, looking at past winners. Esposito was unbelievable. 51 goals in 46 starts this season, a 7.43 average rating. Again, go ahead and use him. He's fantastic. Coyote was great. Dacia Fofana, this FM, like I said, no one's talking about him. Go and use him. He's a bit of a bargain at £24 million, 22 goals, 11 assists, and the whole team overall, I am very, very happy with. I'm very impressed with how everyone went ahead and performed. I mean, if we look at the average ratings, Jair with a 7.55. I mean, he scored in the playoff, only started 1 game all season. It was that one. Esposito with all the goals possible. Coyote is a bargain, or a cheap, an expensive bargain, but a bargain. Hugo, 13 goals, 10 assists, a very, very good season. Tabidi, 15 and 12. £6 million will we sign this guy for. Again, signing Wonderkids at that cheaper price. He has been an absolute stud to go ahead and pick up and develop. Zalewski, 5 and 11. Ndika, very, very good. Where is the man I want to check up on? Lucas Bergvall, again, hardly played this season. Just 3 goals, 2 assists. Not really progressing quite as much. Determination has dropped. And again, that's due to game time. Play him. He'll be a superstar. I hope you have enjoyed this Roma rebuild. I have loved making it. Last thing I want to check up on very quickly is the debt. £76 million. If we put all the money in the overall balance into that, we have cleared the debt as well. So a complete Roma rebuild. No more debt. Smashed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead and like the video. Subscribe to the channel. YouTube recommends you watch this one, and I recommend you watch this one. And I'll speak to you next time. Brighton and Hove Albion, one of the best run clubs in the Premier League. Of recent years, Brighton have really surprised everyone. They have taken the club from sort of a newly promoted Premier League club to being one of the best run clubs, selling Wonderkids from all over the world, selling them on for massive profit. Like Moises Caicedo, signed from Ecuador, sold for £100 million to Chelsea, which is an outrageous fee. And Alexis McAllister, a not quite outrageous fee, but signed from Argentina for just pennies and sold for £35 million. Brighton have become the new Southampton, I would like to say, in terms of signing Wonderkids and selling them on and developing players at a very heavy rate. And today we're going to be seeing if we can do the opposite to Southampton and not get relegated into the Championship. We are going to carry on the Wonderkid trend here at Brighton, signing players of only the age of under 23, seeing if we can sell them on for big money, see how we can do in lifting trophies. This is the first time Brighton are in Europe in the club's history. We're going to try and stay there in the next 5 years. The whole time I want to be in Europe. We want to lift some trophies, maybe even a Premier League, maybe a Champions League. That would be absolutely wild. But today, we are rebuilding Brighton, signing Wonderkids only, and without more rambling, let's get into it. So Brighton have already done half the job for us already. Bart Verbruggen is one of the best goalkeepers on the game for potential as a Wonderkid, and he's here in goal, which is fantastic. And I see so many people starting Brighton saves and not using Bart Verbruggen, so I am locking him in at goalkeeper for the whole of the save, right? He is fantastic. If you're doing a Brighton save and you're not using him, you're doing it all wrong. Give him a chance. He is simply outrageous. Just trust me and use Bart Verbruggen. And in midfield as well, you need to use Carlos Baleba. We're locking this guy in for the first season as well. As a Segundo Volante on support, he suits it down to a T. The finishing isn't fantastic, but the aggression, the pace, the determination, he will love that role. So Baleba and Bart Verbruggen are two brand new signings who are going to be there. We've also got star man from Japan, Karao Mitoma, who's just got a brand new contract and has been absolutely killing it as well. He's very quick, he's got great dribbling, and we all know how good this guy could be. And of course, the man, the myth, the legend, through Brighton, signed from Bohemians for what, 50p? Probably around that. He's fantastic, isn't he? He's been locked in up front. Evan Ferguson as an advanced forward. He's going to be fantastic. Now, the Evan Ferguson project, for me, never seems to go very well. I'm going to lock him in for 5 years. I want this guy to lead the line for every single one of our sims. Sometimes he scored lots of goals, sometimes he never scores a goal. So I'm interested to see what happens this time with Evan Ferguson. In terms of our scouting, I'm not sure if we've got it set up yet. I've actually done it. I've got 5 scoutings going across all over the world in every single continent of the finding players at the age of 15 to 20 or 15 to 21. Trying to just find the best Wonderkids that are going to come through. They're going to be ongoing for the whole entire save. So hopefully we can find them. If you guys want to copy these at all, this is pretty much what I do. I do 1.5 star current ability, 4-star potential ability, 15 to 20 in Europe. Get them out there and get them gone. For some of the smaller continents, like not South America, because they're fantastic, like that's Europe. How have I done that back to back? That's embarrassing. Asia, for example, we go 1-star current ability, 3.5-star potential ability. If you're not finding anybody, you can always drop it down to the 5-star silver and keep the potential ability, because sometimes the ability isn't quite there, but the potential is always there. So if you're struggling to find Wonderkids, I would certainly do these recruitment focuses. If you want a dedicated video on how to find the best Wonderkids, let me know down in the comments down below. I am more than happy to do that, but I'm not making any further changes to this squad. I am keeping it is for the first season. We're going to see what we can do in the Europa League, in the FA Cup, in the Carabao Cup, in the Premier League with this Brighton team. Locking in Bart Verbruggen, locking in Carlos Baleba, locking in Evan Ferguson. Wonderkid to glory, season 1. Let's get into it. We kick things off then in the Europa League, where we were knocked out in the quarterfinals by Roma, which isn't the worst thing in the world. Jose Mourinho, a serial winner until it gets to the final against his old club, Real Madrid, and I don't think we'd have had a chance of beating Real Madrid in the final either. So we're not the most angry about that. Quarterfinal, which is a great showing in our first time in Europe, and it's probably going to be better than they do in real life by the looks of things currently. In the FA Cup, knocked out in the 3rd round, but by Manchester United, the best club in the world, of course, who went on to win the whole thing. So far knocked out by 2 finalists, and Carabao Cup, we're knocked out by Brentford, which is frustrating in the 4th round, because we definitely could have done better. A 1-0 loss. In the Premier League, we managed to stay in Europe, which is great. It's not in the greatest competition, it's in the Europa Conference League, but it gives us a chance at silverware, because I genuinely believe this Brighton team is good enough to lift some silverware, especially the Europa Conference League. And we had an overall decent season in terms of the players and how they did. Obviously, we locked in Bart Verbruggen, who got a 7.02, which is a fantastic overall rating for a 20-year-old goalkeeper. He's already progressing fantastically, and like I said, you've just got to give this guy game time. I see too many people on FM sign this guy or start a Brighton save and do not use him. Just play him in goal. He will turn into one of the best goalkeepers in the world, and you will see that by the end of this rebuild. Carlos Baleba locked in 12 goals and 4 assists, and he's only got 8 finishing, now up to 9. You can see how well this guy's progressing as well, and over a 7 average rating as a 19-year-old turning 20 in the Premier League. Fantastic for his first season, absolutely brilliant. And Evan Ferguson did okay. He had quite a big injury this year, which is a bit worrying. He broke his ankle, which isn't great. So he's going to be a little bit on a knock, which could completely change change his trajectory, but what he did play, he played 27 games, 10 off the bench, scored 20 goals and got 4 assists, which is decent. 15 goals, 15 finishing, 14 first touch, and 16 pace. Evan Ferguson is going to be fantastic for us, it looks like. It's a very, very good start to his career. 10 assists for Purpose SGP, and you can sort of see from the tactics what I'm looking to go out there and improve. I want a brand new right back rather than having Joel Veltman. I want a new centre back next to Lewis Dunk. I want a new anchor next to Baleba, and I want a new winger over Solly March as well. We've got Facundo Buonanotte here at the club, who is a fantastic Wonderkid, and again, progresses really well, but I don't think his Premier League ability to kick things off, and I think locking him in would do us more harm than it should do. I'm going to see what sort of sales we can make. We've got lots of money. We've got £83 million in the bank, which is great, but I do want to try and sign some Wonderkids that aren't always so expensive as well, so we'll see if I stick to that or not. Let's get into some signings for Season 2. Well, the Wonderkid rebuild, I've sold one of the best South American Wonderkids on the game. Jeremy Sarmiento is another one that can turn in to an absolute demon, and last season went out on loan to West Brom, where he's had 42 games and scored 10 goals, and this season I decided to sell him. £20 million, I think, for him is raising a lot of money for someone with potential but not quite the ability, and it seems like in our save, with his sort of dynamic potential, he didn't have it, so we've sold him for 20 million, and I think that's an absolute bargain of a signing with a 20 million buyback as well. We also signed Andrew Moran. Now this guy again is highly sort of in real life. He's an Irish central attack midfielder, £7 million. He is probably just not going to get game time with us, so I sold him, and I don't think that's the worst thing to do when we're looking to try and sign a countless amount of Wonderkids. We have to be clever with who we're bringing in and who we're selling, because there's going to be a lot of Wonderkids that come in that don't make it, and Andrew Moran is one of them. Jacob Mulder has had the club for $4 million to go over to Al Ali. Not disappointed with this sale at all. Again, get someone off the wage bill. 300k a week he's now going to earn, so I'm sure he's not complaining either. Igor is a brand new signing in real life. We've sold him to Hertha Berlin because he only played 12 games last season. I think we can do better than Igor as well, so around £14 million. Igor is out of the door, and Carl Rushworth is a 23-year-old English goalkeeper who we sold for £5 million, and again, we've got Brighton for Bruggen. We don't need Carl Rushworth. He looks like he's got decent enough potential to be a Premier League goalkeeper, which is fantastic, but he's going to just sit here and rot and not get good with us, so I'd rather sell him for £5 million while we can, and that's exactly what we've done. Last season out of Swansea on loan, he was fantastic. 38 appearances, just 36 conceded, so if you've not used Carl Rushworth, maybe give him a look. Now the first signing we're making is a cheaper one, and one that I've signed to send straight back out on loan, and it is Joel Rocker. This guy is at Girona in real life, and Girona are a team that are absolutely smashing it in real life, and it seems like they've got a fantastic Wonderkid on their hands as well. 14 dribbling, 12 first touch, 16 flair, 14 determination, great pace, 19 years of age, £2.5 million. He's gone back out on loan to Girona to see what he can do, so I'm happy to bring him in, maybe a developmental player. Hopefully he grows into something special, as does this guy, Patrick Dorgu. I've signed him for £11.5 million, and I've loaded him straight back out to Lecce because I've got Purvis Estupiñán, but this guy, pick him up early. He is so cheap. He is so good. He can develop into one of the best left backs in the world. 7 determination will get him in a mentoring group. Great crossing, great dribbling, great pace. Got decent enough defending to kick things off as well. And it's great on the ball. So that is important. And you can develop everything else that comes with experience. So Patrick Dorgu for £11 million. Fantastic. Like I said, get him in and get him out on loan. Adrian Maziulu is someone that I think I've signed, or have Brighton signed in real life potentially. I'm not too sure if I signed him or not. £2.6 million. I've loaned him out to Coventry. I think I signed him. I've got no idea, to be honest. But he looks very good. Good determination, good pace, good balance, good dribbling, good finishing, good corners, good first touch. I might have signed him and if I hadn't, I've wasted time. I do apologise. Adrian Maziulu is here for £2.6 million. And the first one that I've made for the first team, and someone to come in and make a big impact. We've got João Pedro in cam, but that can be upgraded by this guy. Mauritius Kjaergaard looks outrageous, and I've never seen this guy on FM before. He's 6'4". He's Danish. He's a centre attacking midfielder. He's got 15 acceleration and 14 pace. He's got 17 strength. He's got 15 determination, and he's 21 years of age. And we signed him for £15 million. This is a Brighton signing all over He looks fantastic, and hopefully he's going to develop into being fantastic. 5-star current ability, 92 million value already. Finishing needs to improve. That would improve over time. Great dribbling, great heading. I mean, I'm buzzing the fact we've signed Martis Kiergaard. He looks absolutely fantastic. So we'll see if we can make him one of the best players in the world. We've then gone for a pricey signing, and someone that I think was linked with Brighton in real life, was certainly linked to a move to the Premier League in real life, and that is Johan Bakayoko. Now, this guy, as the right winger instead of Solly March, is fantastic. £42 million is what it took to get him, but I went for realism, and I don't think it would cost that in real life, but signing him was something I wanted to do. Great acceleration, great pace, great dribbling, great crossing, and in this Brighton tactic, we play with a winger on support, so that is going to be perfect. He's going to suit that down to the ground. So 16 passing, he can link up the play as well. He's quick, so he can get on the counter, and hopefully Johan Bakayoko will be a fantastic signing. It's an expensive one, but one I think that was needed to make. Sebastian Boselli is the next signing. This guy is my right back. He is a fullback on support to cover off Joel Veltman. Now, he is a younger option. He is 6 foot. He is 20 years of age. He is from River Plate, and again, is a typical Brighton signing. We signed him for £9 million. He's got a value of £44 million, and hopefully he can develop as well. He can play as a centre-back, he can play as a full-back, exactly like Joel Veltman, and suits it down to a ground as well. So Sebastian Boselli, a bargain right back to go ahead and sign. We needed an anchor man next to Carlos Baleba, and Samu was the man I went for, and this guy is just under the age of 23, which is fantastic. He does turn 24 soon, but he fits the criteria just about, and with 16 work rate, 16 stamina, great defensive attributes for signing of £21 million from Mallorca. They have made absolute bank, by the way, by selling him on this season. He looks fantastic, and he looks like a real prospect as well. So hopefully we can see good things from Samu. He's consistent and loves a big match as well. And you know, they're my two favourite things when looking out for a player. I've gone for a left field signing of Naves. Now, this guy is a Brazilian centre-back from Palmeiras. I've never heard of him. He looks okay. I'm going to see if he can develop. The potential looks better before he come in, and maybe be one of them that doesn't quite grow into anything. £2.8 million is what I spent. He looks alright. We'll see if we can get anything out of Naves. I've not got the most hope for him, but hopefully we can get something out of him. And then we finally need to sign the centre-back to sit next to Lewis Dunk. And Mika Marmo is my guy to come in and sit there. Again, this guy just turned 23. 6 anticipation, great heading, great passing, great tackling, great marking, great pace, great actual fitness. Signed for £18 million, a value of £42 million. Consistent, loves a big match. My favourite things, and the team looks exactly like this. It's Bart Verbruggen in goal, Boselli as the right back, Dunk and Marmo at centre back, Estupinian at left back, Samuel and Baleba in midfield, Mitoma, Bakayoko, João Pedro and Evan Ferguson as the strikers, and the backups. We're starting to get to Wonderkids in there as well. Jason Steele in goal, Veltman, Naves, Webster, Lamptey, Gilmore, Gross, March, Kiergaard, Buonanotte, and that guy Welbs is still here at the club as well. But we have, you know, really improved our sort of loaning out and our Wonderkids overall. We've got some fantastic players coming through. We've got Enciso, who I've loaned out again to Watford. This guy could become one of the best players on the game. We've not mentioned him yet. He's here at the club already. He's got a worldie last season. I think he won goal of the season last season in real life. And he really is special. 16 dribbling, 16 long shots, 16 acceleration, 16 pace. This guy could be him. He could be that guy. So we've loaned him out again. Ed Towns has gone out on loan. And then the under-21s has Towns potential as well. There's a few players in here. Darren Bodkin looks fantastic. Now, I think it's a bug with the face. That's not actually Darren. He has come through our youth academy. 16 first touch and 17 technique to kick things off. Yeah, hopefully Darren can become something very, very good. We've also got midfielder in here, Yassin Ayari, who is at Brighton in real life. We loaned him out to Coventry last season, where he had a decent season, a 6.8, very consistent in the Championship, which is good to see. We're going to try and loan him out again this season, see what we can get out of him. Hopefully he can go out on loan and improve. So that is the plan. James Beeder was a good young goalkeeper as well here at the club. Again, another reason we sold Carl Rushworth, a value of £27 million at 19 years of age. Another fantastic goalkeeper. But I think that is everyone. I think we've gone through everything. We can now go for season 2. This Brighton Wonderkid sort of track just carries on going. They are everywhere. There is Wonderkids galore here at Brighton. We're in the Conference League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, Premier League. Can we lift our first trophy in season number 2? Well, as your old mate Bob the Builder used to say, yes, we can. Today is a final in the Carabao Cup against Everton, and we are going to go 1-0 down thanks to a Butcher little chip over the goalkeeper, but we are not going to stop there. We're going to win this game 4-1. Kyago got a ball through to Mitoma, who's going to stick it in the top corner to make it 1-0. To get our first goal in this game, the first of 4, Samu in DM spreads it out to Mitoma, who's going to drift in, find Kiergaard. Look at the size of him. He's an absolute demon. That's his second and his first of the game. It's 2-1 for Brighton. Samu into Kiergaard. I can't believe this guy. Finds Matoma. Ferguson 3-1. And things are going very, very well here at Brighton. Pickford on the ball. Godfrey. Pickford. Oh, Pickford. What are you doing, son? He's had an absolute stinker. And Matoma gets it in for 4-1. And a bit of classic FM play there. A fantastic performance, a fantastic win. And you can see from the graph as well, this tactic is beautiful. It's so wide, it's so aggressive, and I absolutely love it. With teams now going with inverted wing backs everywhere, I like to try and make tactics which exploit that and gets you the width, because if they're going to come inside, we'll go outside, and that is exactly what we've got to do. That was very, very sus. But that was the EFL Cup and a fantastic 4-1 victory. And it's not the only trophy we win this season, because we beat Atletico Madrid in the final of the Europa Conference League to win it 1-0. Now, I expected to win this competition, but not if we were going to play a team like Atletico Madrid. And we were fantastic. And Bart Verbruggen, man of the match, a 7.7. And look at him. Look at him. 2 seasons, of playing every game. He's now the Dutch #1, and he is so good. I really hope I am changing people's opinions on this guy. I have seen it in the comments. I have seen it everywhere on YouTube. I watch a Brighton save. No one plays him. Play him. He's fantastic. He's so, so good. And he is now one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League. Like I said, the Dutch goalkeeper. He is simply fantastic. And a player of the match performance in a big game like this just shows his big game capability as well. Now, with both of them competitions being won, it did mean that we took a big old hit in the league. And it was quite a poor showing, to be honest, down in 11th place. 43 points, a -18 goal difference. But we qualified for the Europa League anyway, which is back to where we were at the start of season 1. So another season in Europe next season is fantastic. -18 goal difference is certainly something to look on and something I'm going to try and improve with the team. In terms of who did well this season, yeah, Mauritius is quite good. 27 goals. 27 goals. Sorry? His first season in the Premier League, 16 off the ball, 16 acceleration, 17 strength. His finishing has grown so well. I can't believe how good this guy is. I've never seen him on FM. £15 million. Honestly, go and get him. He is simply fantastic. You saw him in that match engine there as well, just how big he is, how dominant he can be, and he's playing in that cam, and he was fantastic. Evan Ferguson had an Evan Ferguson season, 19 goals and 2 assists in 43 games. It's not quite enough, but like I said, I'm sticking with him for the whole 5 years. I want to see him grow. I want to see if we can make him as good as he can be. I don't think he's going to get there, to be honest. João Pedro as the backup to Kiergaard, believe it or not. 17 goals and 14 assists is fantastic to see. Great finishing, great penalty taken, work rate off the ball, decent pace. João Pedro, we know about him. He's fantastic. Matoma, 11 goals and 14 assists. Great dribbling, first touch, acceleration. He was fantastic this season. Bakayoko, our first sort of big signing to come in for over £40 million. 10 goals and 12 assists. As a winger on support, that's fantastic. I'm only now have £90 million as well. Baleba, 7 and 7. Gross even still playing games, 5 and 9. Sammy was fantastic this season, just under a 7 on a 6.99. Bart Verbruggen, a 7.07. Mika Marmo, a 6.74 isn't great. Maybe the centre-back needs to be improved ever so slightly. In terms of any other signings here, not too many. In terms of the players that went out on loan, there was a hell of a lot. So Enciso on his loan spell, 52 appearances is fantastic over there. So that's good to go ahead and see. Can we get it to where it shows us how they did actually in the league? That would be helpful, wouldn't it? 52 games and 9 goals, a 7.04 rating. So Enciso could certainly come in to the team this season. Patrick Dorgu hardly played for Lecce, which is very frustrating. He's also got an injury, which isn't good. He's got the flu, so poor guy. Mazilu, 49 games in the Championship is very, very impressive. Did okay, scoring just 6 goals. Joao Roca hardly played for Girona either, so a little bit of a shame with him. Luca Barrington out on loan at Wickham did bits. Imari Samuels, Ed Turns, and Marcus Ifil also doing absolute wonders out of the B-Town. Fair play to him. What a legend. But yeah, that's the team. We've got, again, a lot of money to go and spend. 70 million, 300k in wage budget. Probably a few players to move on as well, so let's get into it. But Martis Kiergaard, he's that guy. And this is about the time where I've got to tell you this safe is available for you guys to download on Patreon as well. The end of season number 5, you can pick this save up on Patreon. It's around £5 a month. It's $5.50, so it converts to what it converts to. But it's a massive helper for me as a content creator. If you can get down there and support, you get bits for it as well. Some fantastic perks. Like I said, these rebuild files. If you want me to tweak any tactics, I've done that in the last couple of weeks as well. I'm more than happy to answer any questions you have got as well. So Patreon down below. Feel free to sign up for that one. It helps me out massively. And you can see from the sort of the setup, the lighting, the microphone, the camera, we are upgrading as we go. And it's all because of your guys' fantastic supports. And the support you give on the channel is ridiculous. So a massive thank you. That is down there if you want to pick up this Brighton save from the end of season 5 or any other season. Thank you for listening to my little spiel on why you should sign up to the Patreon, but a massive thank you for your support, for even being in this video. So if you do want to support, that is down there, but let's get back into it. Right then, more sales to be made, and sadly, Billy Gilmour is the first man out of the door. He has head off to Spurs. He looks very, very good, but he didn't really play too much in the last couple of seasons. Around 24 games in the first, 22 in the second. Sold for £18 million, I think, is a good sale on our behalf. And for the players we're bringing in with Samu and Carlos Baleba in midfield, he is not quite at their level. I think he is a fantastic young player, but like I said, not quite reaching their level. Abdullah Sima as well, a fantastic winger and has great potential, but isn't going to reach it here at Brighton. Sold for £12.5 million last season. We sold him, actually. I forgot to go through him. So that's Abdullah Sima. He's also gone. Dennis Undav also left last season. He went to Al Ittihad, and he's gone over there and bagged absolute money and lots of goals as well. So we've raised quite a lot of money from sales, which is good to see. And we've also managed to sell another £64 million of our players, and a lot of that coming from Tariq Lamptey, who's on £625,000 a week. Saudi is actually broken, isn't it? It's genuinely ridiculous, the money over there. We sold him for £37 million, and he's a fantastic fullback, and he's got great pace, and he's very good going forward. But for this right side, because I've got Estupiñán on the left, and I've sort of made it a sort of more left-sided approach of attacking on a fullback, he doesn't suit it. He is certainly not a defensive fullback. I mean, that doesn't suit him at all. So he can go out there, earn some ridiculous bread, and yeah, we can say goodbye to Tariq Lamptey. But thank you for your service. A fantastic Wonderkid, but not quite suiting our needs. And Adam Webster has also left. A bit of a fantastic centre-back, to be honest. He's been great for Brighton the last few years, but £18 million. Again, we've kind of moved on. We've sold him off to Mainz, so hopefully he can go out there and enjoy his career. And we replaced him with a very expensive, but also the best, in my opinion, South American Wonderkid on the game, centre-back wise anyway, and that's William Pancho. This guy's stats are fantastic. 16 determination, 16 marking, 14 heading, and 14 tackling. Ridiculous pace, 6'2", extremely consistent, loves a big match. Yeah, as soon as I had the money sitting there, it was an absolute no-brainer to go and snap up William Pancho from Eintracht Frankfurt. £65 million is a lot of money, and again, probably isn't very Brighton. They certainly wouldn't go out and spend that, I don't think, on a centre-back, but we're doing a Wonderkid save. It's more than I'd like to spend, but he's one of the best on the game, and I'm trying to sort of show off some of the best on the game as well. So there is one. Luca Lipani is someone that came in last season, which again I tried to get out on loan. We signed him for just £5 million. Looks like a very good CDM sign from Sassuolo. Great potential. We'll see if we can get anything out on him. Didn't manage to go out on loan last season, so it sort of staggered him a little bit, but hopefully he can go out on loan this season. Adam Nagalo has been signed from Luton. Now, he was obviously at Norges Land when the save starts. He went to Luton and got relegated, so we picked him up. £15 million, a very good, very good backup centre-back for us. Luton have made a nice bit of profit, but I think for us, being a backup centre-back, Premier League experience, fantastic. Great aggression, great pace, great defensive stats. Can also play in DM if needed, so £15 million is a bargain. Kylian Sadadelia. Again, I sign him on every rebuild at this point. He's a right back. He's fantastic. As a full back on defend, suits him again very, very well. Much better than Tariq Lamptey for this position, which is why I've gone ahead and sold Lamptey for 40 and signed Kylian Sadadelia for £7.5 million, because it just makes sense. Such a good fullback, and for so cheap, he has to be signed pretty much. A backup striker to Evan Ferguson, who is certainly going to go ahead and score goals. Tien Den Bogende. Now, this guy is at Young Utrecht, or Utrecht in real life, and I can't believe his stats. 16 finishing, 17 composure. This guy's 17 years old when the game kicks off. How is he so good? He must go in front of goal and know he's going to score every time he gets there. He's brilliant. Great pace, great off the ball work as well. Great determination. 6'2", again, building a bit of a big, strong side here. It sort of suits a classic Dutch striker. A bit of Ruud van Nistelrooy kind of eyes from Tien here. So big fan of Bandon Bengay, and I hope we do get bits out of him as well. Signed for £14.5 million. The last signing is a young centre-back from Argentina to try and be better than Naves. I think he's gone already, to be honest. He wasn't doing very well progressively. Hardly played a game last season. So signed someone with a lot better potential for very, very cheap from Racing Club. £6 million. Gonzalo Escudero. I think this season he's going to go out on loan to, I can't remember where he goes, but he goes out on loan in the Championship, which is going to be good for him to sort of get used to English football. So hopefully we can see him in a few years' time, but Gonzalo is going to come in and go back out on loan. And from the other players as well, I mean, we've sent a lot of players out on loan, but we've also sort of just kept players here at the club. Buonanotte has gone out on loan to Wolves, Hinchelwood's gone out on loan to Sheffield Wednesday, Mazialu's gone out on loan to Sunderland, Boselli to Sheffield United, Kolowski to Watford, Naves to Preston, Roca to Watford, Bonboeti to Wickham, and Ben Jackson to Bristol Rovers. But in terms of potential, yeah, we're growing. We're certainly growing. Darren Bodkin's going to go out on loan, hopefully. Nicky Schonk looks like a fantastic young goalkeeper, just straight through the academy, which is great. I mean, the actual club info is good here at Brighton. Some great facilities, so he should be able to get some good players come through. The team is now looking very, very good with Babrugan in goal, Sedilia, Pacho, Dunk, Estupinian, Baleba, Samu, Bakayoko, Mitoma, Kiergaard, and Ferguson. So a very, very strong side. Things are looking very, very good for Brighton, and I'm excited to see what this season holds for us. The backups is now pretty much Wonderkids only. Beadle, Veltman, but Nagalo, Marmol, Dorgu, Lipani, Ayari, March, Pedro, Enciso, and Tien Vembagende. The team looks great. I'm so happy that just 2 seasons in, this is the team we have built. So we'll see what we can do. Europa League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, Premier League. Another trophy would be fantastic. Well, a season of getting to quarterfinals and falling short. Quarterfinal by Brentford in the Carabao, quarterfinal by West Ham in the FA Cup, and quarterfinal by Sevilla in the Europa League. But coming 6th in the Premier League, which has somehow landed us in the Champions League. I've never seen 6th place mean Champions League football, but apparently it does now. The coefficient rankings must be ridiculous in England's favour, because that's quite wild. So we've got a season in the Champions League, which is great. And you can see from this season, we were actually brilliant for the whole thing. We were in the sort of the top 2 for most of the start of the season, dropped down to just outside the top 4, got up to 3rd again in the sort of the March time, and then dropped down when we sort of started playing all these competitions again in sort of 5th and 6th, and come 6th on 65 points, a positive goal difference of plus 14, which is great to see. So defence must have been shored up, and you can see that from the data hub. Defence much better, goal scoring much better, goals coming from Evan Ferguson and Mauritius Kiergaard. Kiergaard, he's just taken it for himself. 23 goals and 13 assists. I'm not going to keep talking about him. He's brilliant, all right? Evan Ferguson is just doing Evan Ferguson things. I don't know. I don't know if I should be blown out of the water, but 18 goals doesn't strike me as the best Wonderkid striker on the game kind of vibes. The fact that Cam is outscoring him is a bit worrying to me. He's not really progressed in any of his stats either. He's just, I don't know. I don't understand the hype on FM. In real life, this guy's fantastic, but on FM, Vitor Roque for me is such a better Wonderkid striker. I'm not getting the results out of him, is what I'm saying. But Evan Ferguson, he's still going to be here for the 5 seasons. He just might hamper us, I can't lie. João Pedro, 14-7 as the backup cam. And Mitoma had a fantastic season. 20 assists and 12 goals is brilliant to see. He was absolutely outrageous. 8-6 for Bakayoko, again, is a great season. A 7.10 average rating is fantastic. In terms of the best average ratings across it, Kiergaard, Mitoma, Bakayoko, Estupinian being strong. Bart Verbruggen, I mean, I'm not gonna tell you again. Bart Verbruggen, he's that guy. He just is that guy, all right? Solly March has been good for us as a backup still. Sedilia as the backup right back / starter has been fantastic. Samu, absolutely brilliant. Where is the man, the myth, the legend? Baleba, 3 and 4 this season, so a little bit of a drop-off, to be honest, which isn't great. In terms of Wonderkids, they are getting some game time. Beadle didn't play a game, which isn't to be sort of expected. Dorgu, 9 off the bench. Lipani, 2 games, 11 off the bench. Tien Vembagende, 3 goals and 2 assists. I mean, he will grow. He looks fantastic. Decent enough in just 3 starts. Enciso played over 20 games overall, which is good to see. He is now in the team. Yasin Ayari played 40 games off the, well, including starts on the bench, which is great. He is here at Brighton as well. So if you've got him, try and use him. He looks fantastic. Nagalo over 40 games overall, again, is fantastic. Bakayoko's doing bits in terms of the loans. Because we've got such a big squad, a lot of players are going on loan, and a lot of them are smashing it. Facundo Buonanotte, yeah, that's a fantastic season, my friend. In the Championship, 15 goals, 6 assists, a 7.29 average rating. It might be time to cash in, because we've got better players, but £80 million value is fantastic. Again, if you can get the best out of him, use him. Baselli did bits in the Championship, was very, very good there, 39 games. Escudero played a little bit in the Championship, which is good. Probably a bit more game time than would have got here. Roca is now a Championship player, right? Well, League One player rather than League Two. Did bits at Watford, which is good to see. He was okay. Hinchelwood was fantastic for Sheffield Wednesday, and I think as one of them guys who is going to come through the academy in real life, I think this guy is going to get a place in the team for the next 2 years as well. So Jack Hinchelwood, keep an eye on him. Adjum Mizulu, 52 games, 8 goals out at Sunderland is great. It's almost an Amad Diallo kind of save, that is. Kozlowski did okay at Watford. Again, so much value in him. He's worth £31 million, but just isn't quite good enough. So we might see him go in. Naves played 32 games in League One, which is good for him, but yeah, he's not that guy. Bodkin went out on loan to Shrewsbury and played 41 games. Didn't have the greatest time, but introduction into sort of men's football was good to see. So he is hopefully going to grow. Did I just see 77? No, 27. I was going to say. And Benicio did okay over at Wickham as well, but isn't going to grow into a player that we are interested in, sadly, on this save. But a fantastic season, to be honest. I'm very, very happy with it. You know, getting into sort of deeper of all 3 competitions and managed to keep in the Premier League is fantastic. So Champions League football up next. What do they give us money-wise? A lot, okay? A lot of money. So let's go and spend it. Well, I'm in a scenario where I've signed all the Wonderkids possible. So I don't need to go out and improve the team too much. It's a case of growing. So I'm going to add some Wonderkids in and one absolute star man. So Goran Drobnjak is the first signing. This guy is over at Partizan. Again, I'm not sure with the face glitch if he's real or if he is generated through the game. So if he's on your saves, he looks fantastic as a complete wing back at right back. But to be honest, doesn't suit us at all. So we've signed him for 3.7 million and loaned him back out to Partizan. I think next season he'll go out on loan again. He's going to be one of them that you guys can pick up on Patreon and get bits out of when he change formation. He's very determined, great bravery, great teamwork, great pace, great dribbling, great technique as well, which is fantastic. So get the chance to sign Goran. If he's on your saves, go ahead and do it. He looks fantastic. Luis Guilherme is again one of the best Wonderkids on the game. This guy is fantastic over in Brazil. We signed him for £12 million, loaned him out to Palmeiras again because again he's not going to get the game time, and since coming to us and going on loan, he's absolutely smashed it. 3 goals and 1 player of the match, a 7.57. And again, this guy can develop into one of the best Wonderkids on the game. So you guys are lucky. I've signed him for you early on. He's got a fantastic value. Hopefully, you can develop him into one of the best players. We're probably not going to see it on this save, for example. If you guys want to see like a 5-year sim after, I'm more than happy to do that. That could even be this Sunday's video. So if you want to see that, get it down in the comments down below. The Brighton rebuild in 5 years of how the Wonderkids got on. But they look fantastic. Leicester Muriello is someone I've signed as well. This guy's from South Africa, from Supersport United. And again, it's someone we've found from the scouting range that I sort of showed. 425,000. This good. You can find some Wonderkids, I tell you, for very, very cheap. Great determination, great agility, great aggression, great technique, great dribbling crossing. Finishing needs to improve, but as a Mitoma replacement maybe in 2 or 3 years, yeah, fantastic signing for Leicester. 5'4", tricky little winger. Suits Mitoma. And the last signing, like I said, we've gone for a big boy to come in and improve the team. Again, under 23, and his name is Rayan Cherki. This guy is fantastic, okay? He is brilliant in real life. Great flair, a very tricky little player, and has developed quite well over at Lyon. Played a lot of SIG games over there, pretty much nearly a 7 every single season, which is great. And is now going to come in here to be any of the 3, really. He can play right wing, he can play left wing, he can play cam, he can use both feet. I'm a huge fan of Rayan Cherki, very consistent as well. So we'll see what we can get out of him. Great dribbling, great first touch, technique, composure, flair, agility. The team looks ridiculously strong. Verbruggen in goal, Sedilia, Pancho, Marmo, Estupinian, Baleba, Samu, Cherki, Kjærgaard, Mitoma and Ferguson. Still 5 Brighton players in the first 11 in Season 4, which shows the Wonderkids that are already here at the club. The backups, we've now got a full 15 squad because we're in the Champions League. So Beadle, Hinchelwood is the backup right back, Nagalo, Dunk, Dorgu, Lipani, Ayari, Bakayoko, Pedro, Enciso, Dembogende, Shonk, Escudero, March, and Joel Roca. A big squad full of Wonderkids. Season 4, let's win it all. Well, I don't know why I said let's win it all, because that was never going to happen, okay? Round of 16 in the Champions League by Real Madrid, I think is, good enough, all right? In the league phase, how do we get on? 14th, 8 games, 4 wins, 1 draw, 3 losses, 13 points. The losses, Real Madrid, Wolfsburg, and Galatasaray. We beat Arsenal, Celtic, Nice and Leipzig, and we drew to Man City. So a very, very good Champions League campaign for us. Sadly, getting knocked out in the round of 16 is annoying. FA Cup, 3rd rounded by Liverpool. The eventual winners. How frustrating to get them in the 3rd round. And the Carabao Cup, semi-final by Arsenal, who lost the final to Everton. So that could have been ours, okay? That's really frustrating. We could have easily beat Everton in that. We lost 3-2 in aggregate, which is infuriating. But the league, we did very, very well. Again, we come 6th. And again, battling with all of these competitions and doing as well as we are, I think is very impressive. 64 points, 8 goal difference, positive again. Last season, this guy's Champions League. This season, it doesn't. Very odd, okay? I don't know what's going on, but we've got the same points as Liverpool, and we just about don't get champion. We missed out on Champions League by goal difference, which is annoying, but it gives us a chance to go and win the Europa League, because we've won the Conference League. We haven't won the Europa League, which is something I'd like to do, and set you guys up for Champions League football for Season 5. Money-wise, we've got lots to spend again, but we've got all the Wonderkids we could possibly want. Evan Ferguson is... I keep saying it. He's doing Evan Ferguson things. He's being average. 15 goals and 5 assists. I'm using him as the striker for the whole 5 years out of principle at this point. It's not because I want to. Kiergaard, 18 goals and 6 assists. 11 goals, 11 assists from Matoma. 10 and 4 for Pedro. 10 and 12 for Bakayoko. It's a great season. Schalke, a little bit quiet. 7 and 5. Pancho's been fantastic since coming in. Estupiñán, still one of the standout players on this Brighton side. He's just absolutely brilliant. So, huge fan. Hinchwood got lots of game time this year. And again, he's one that's coming through in real life. And it's great to see that he's managed to get game time now in season number 4. 26 games overall. And a Big Bar, nearly a 7 again. 50 games. The goalkeeper you all need to go ahead and sign. So we're going to quickly move on to season 5 because that's a little bit disappointing. But we have got the Europa League. So hopefully we can win that. And well, because there's not too many players I can show you of signing, we're going to skip to the end of Season 5. I'm going to quickly show you the players we have signed for you guys to go ahead and use. Like Ronaldo here as a 19-year-old Brazilian goalkeeper. We've got Saul Mendy, who's coming as the best right back at the club, who looks fantastic. Absolutely brilliant right back and a very good up and down player. Shaquille Van Persie's been brought in, £15 million. At this point, I'm just bringing in every Wonderkid because why on earth not? You've got Big Shaq now. You should pick this up on Patreon. This save really is every Wonderkid in one team. Lucas Riviera is someone I've found. £5.5 million. Looks like he'll become the best midfielder in the world if you play him. So he looks brilliant. He's back out on loan at River, but comes back this season. And £40 million on Archie Gray, because Archie Gray is because one of the best Wonderkids on the game. He's fantastic. He looks brilliant. And this season was fantastic as well in midfield. In terms of competitions this season, we did win the Europa League. A 2-0 victory against Newcastle, which is very good to see. João Pedro and Matoma scoring the goals. But I'm just disappointed, to be honest, in one man of this whole rebuild. And I've got on his back the whole time. It's Evan Ferguson. I don't understand the Ferguson hype on FM. I don't think I'm ever using him again. He's pushed me away, Evan. I'm sorry you have. But 21 goals this season in 40 games. I've seen Danny Welbeck do that on FM. So Evan Ferguson on FM for me, it's the end of our love relationship. In real life, I hope you come to Manchester United and be a rotation option with Rasmus Højlund / even play together. In some alternate universe, I would love to see it. But on Foot Manager, I can't see it. This goal return, it's just not it. 5 goals in a whole Premier League season. 13, 12, 11 and 9. Very poor. Very, very poor. Martin Kiergaard, however, I love him. And I'm going to sign him on every rebuild for the next 10 years. You will see this guy all the time, okay? He's fantastic. Go ahead and get him. Another fantastic season for him. João Pedro was very good this season as well. 9 and 12 for Bakayoko. Again, this season's been a bit, well, this sort of rebuild has been a bit under the radar, but has been fantastic. 104 games for us now overall, 18 goals, and pretty much every season over a 7. One season dropping to a 6.91 and this to a 6.92, but 705, 711 and 7 is fantastic. So huge fan of Bakayoko. Archie Gray was a great signing at the end as well. And in terms of the league, we come 9th, but we've got Champions League because we won the Europa League, which is great. Didn't lift the FA Cup, which at this point I'd like to have won that. Carabao Cup we didn't win this season, but we did back ago. So we won we won 1 Carabao Cup, a Europa Conference League and a Europa League in 5 years, and secured you guys Champions League football for the end of it as well. And you've got every Wonderkid you could ever want. So enjoy the save on Patreon. If you don't want Patreon and you want to just enjoy the save as is, if you want to see us go 5 years in the future to see how these guys got on, let me know down in the comments down below. And thank you for watching. If you've not watched it yet, the Completed Mate series is well underway, and India was the last one just down there. Schalke are one of the biggest clubs in Germany, a club with so much history. 7 Bundesliga titles, 5 DFB Pokals, and just as recent as 2017-2018, second in the top flight of Germany, the Bundesliga. Today, they are 16th in the second tier of Germany, and things have not gone well. It has been a downward spiral of financial turmoil and bad things here at Schalke. And today, we're going to look to, brighten the mood of everyone surrounding Schalke. They've got one of the best Wonderkids on the game in Hassan Wadrego. We're going to be trying to make him a superstar. We're going to try and get them back into the Bundesliga and, of course, back into the top half, back into the Champions League, and why not try and lift one? We've got 5 years to do it, and we're going to be signing Wonderkids under the age of 23 for under £10 million. It's going to be a wild, wild journey, so strap yourselves in as we rebuild Schalke. Now, the age profile of the squad here at Schalke is not fantastic. If we just look above 30 years of age, there is 9 players, and they are some of the best players as well, being a 3.5-star Simon Terode, a 3.5-star Marius Müller, and a bunch of 3-star centre-backs, centre-mid strikers that are 33 years old. That is not good for Football Manager in these slides. If you've played FM, you want Wonderkids like this guy, Hassan Wadrego. Now, this guy looks fantastic. He was phenomenal on last year's Football Manager, and this year, he looked very, very good as well. A very versatile player. Can play on the wings, can play in cam, centre mid, or even in CDM. And my plan for this guy is the Segundo Volante role, the most attractive role on Football Manager. The Segundo Volante is superb and is so fun to use. He's already consistent, and he's only 17 years of age. So Hassan Wadrego is our star boy for this Schalke rebuild. We've also locked in for the first season Tristan Osmani in the central attack midfielder role. This guy's an 18-year-old Austrian central attack midfielder, and I think he is going to be good enough to get us promoted. His stats are decent. Remember, we're in the second tier of Germany, so we can take risks on players like that and also take risks on Jean-Paul Ndida. This guy is 16 years of age, which is absolutely outrageous. He turns 17 in a couple of 17, sorry, in a couple of weeks. So he's not actually that young. Well, he is still very, very young. He's consistent, but he is very quick. He's got great finishing, great determination, not the best composure, but again, I think he can do a job in the second tier of Germany. So our goal is to lock them 3 in for this for this first year, alongside this formation, a 4-2-3-1 with a Volante, a shadow striker, and an advanced forward. DM on support, 2 wing backs, 2 ball playing defenders, and wingers. And we're going to be looking to exploit the space in behind. A very good cam, a very quick striker, and hopefully Wadrego dominating the midfield. Now, I'd also mentioned in the little intro that there's not a lot of money. There's £100 million in the red as you load up, and debts of £252 million. So £350 million in the red, yeah? It's not a good start, is it? And that's why we're setting the limits of this save as a 10 million and under Wonderkid rebuild of 23 years of age and under as well. Now, I'll be going through the scouting of that in just a second. And I also will be going through a video on Sunday of all the scouting and how I've been doing this whole week. We have a rebuild with Sunderland, which has been fantastic, Brighton, and then this one where I've used the same scouting methods to find fantastic Wonderkids. And you're going to see over this 5 years just how well you can find Wonderkids for so cheap and build a club like Schalke from 16th in the Bundesliga 2 to one of the best teams in Germany, again in just 5 years. So let's get into it. Season number 1, I'm expecting promotion. If I'm honest, I'll be very, very gutted if we're not. We've played 2 games already, 1 win and 1 loss. Hopefully, I'll bring you guys back as champions of the second tier of Germany. And well, to absolutely nobody's surprise, that is exactly what we have done. I mean, I'd have been very, very disappointed in myself if that's not what we've done. 73 points, a 26 goal difference, 22 wins, 7 draws and 5 losses. We retain, well, we win the championship back after going up and then down and then back up in first place. We are the German Norwich, as we're going to call Schalke from now on. That is very rude to Schalke. That is just, calling out a big old fan base right there. Now, Hassan Wadrego this season was absolutely fantastic in that Volante role. A 6.97 at 17, going 18 years of age is absolutely brilliant. 33 games, 2 goals and 5 assists. And Jean-Paul Ndida was okay. There, we had no one on the top goal scorers list, and that's because this guy wasn't actually that good. He scored 9 goals and got 3 assists in 32 games. It was a little bit average, and wasn't really good enough, but we were good enough to win the league, so that is all that matters. And Tristan Osmani was fantastic again, 13 goals and 6 assists, 33 games, but you can see he's got a £0 value and he's leaving us. He didn't accept a brand new contract. He's to Hoffenheim on a free contract. So Tristan, well, we're going to win the league in 5 years. You're going to probably be in the Bundesliga 2 with Hoffenheim. So enjoy your career, mate, but you ain't going to be here at Schalke. Wadrego, we're going to keep an eye on his progress as well. This is the only time we're going to look at it other than the last season, so I want to see see what this guy's like in 5 years' time. How many of these stats have gone up 5, 6, 7? Who knows? Because he really is that good. Money-wise, obviously there's still no money at the club whatsoever. Now, we have cleared a little bit of the debt. We've gone from 100 million to 27 million pounds there, and 250 up to 270. So we've cleared around 50 million pounds of red balance, which is great, I suppose. I mean, it's not that helpful, is it? We're still 276, still 300 million pounds in debt. The good thing here at Schalke, they've got great training facilities and youth facilities and a very good reputation. So signing players should be quite easy. Now, we've obviously got no money whatsoever. 171,000 pounds in wage budget is good. So if we sort of do that, make it in the middle, 5 million pounds to improve this ridiculously aging squad where there is thousands of players that are too old and not good enough. We've got all of these players pretty much leaving the club straight away, and all of these that are probably too old and not good enough. So without further ado, let's get into it. The signings for our first season in the Bundesliga as Schalke manager. Very, very quickly, I'm going to show you how I found all the players that we have signed today. We've used these 5 or 6, 15 to 23-year-old recruitment focuses. Now, these look like they're a little bit, you know, all over the place, but they are very, very good. And they help you find players from all over the world. For example, this bottom one is going to help you find players from North America. 1-star credibility, 3-star potential, ongoing, any position, search away. We then go on to the next one, which is South America, slightly better current player, slightly better potential, any position, ongoing, and fire away. I'm going to show you guys exactly how to do that on Sunday, so keep an eye out for that video, but that video is going to be out on Sunday, and that's just a little bit of how we found everyone in today's rebuild. There is a lot of players we have signed, and there's a lot of players that we're going to continue to sign as well using this method. Just like Urco Gonzalez de Zarate. Now, this guy is a fantastic Spanish central defensive midfielder, signed for a grand total of £600,000 in the Real Sociedad B team and the Real Sociedad first team. He played 26 games last season, which is good enough for me to come up to the first tier of the Bundesliga because he looks very, very good as a deep line playmaker in the base of midfield. 16 vision, 15 first touch, 15 passing. Hands up. Done. That is all I need to see from you, Zarate. Get the ball and pass it on and give it to Hassan Rodrigo because he is going to be the superstar. He's not quick. He's not exactly fantastic defensively, but he is more than good enough to go ahead and do the work we need him to do. So welcome in Urco Gonzalez de Zarate for £600,000. Martin Dardai is my next signing from Hertha BSC. And again, what a fantastically well-rounded player this guy is. He can play at centre-back, he can play at CDM, and he can play at central midfield if we need him to. Some fantastic stats all across the board. And again, signing for £4.4 million. He's 22 years of age. He's apparently a good Bundesliga 2 player. I would disagree. This guy is a very well-rounded player and can play in most Bundesliga sides as a utility option. So Martin Dardai, thank you for coming in. And for £3.2 million, Hugo Novoa has come in. Now, this guy is at RB Leipzig as you start up the save. He has been at Basel and Utrecht, I believe, on loan in real life. And this guy, for me, is going to be good enough to be our right winger. A 4-star credibility player, great dribbling, first touch, and pace, which is going to be very, very important. He's also 6 foot tall, so getting the end of some crosses could be decent for him. He's got a decent enough jump reach and heading for a back post header. So Hugo Novoa is in, and like I said, 3.2 million, an absolute bargain. 7.05 last season in the Netherlands. So hopefully this guy can come in, play 30 odd games, get 5 goals, 5 assists. That'll be enough to keep us up, which is going to be the goal for the first season. So Hugo Novoa, welcome to the club. And believe it or not, that is the only signings I was able to make. We sold Paul Seguin for £2 million to Montpellier and sold £4.9 million of players here as well. On this, you've got Sebastian Polter, Ralph Farman, Nicholas Castell has gone out on loan. Wajwan and Top have left on a 3. Moore on a £2 million fee. Ibrahim Cisse for $1 million. Kalat for 250k. Siebenberg for 3. And Templeman on a £1.5 million fee. And the squad is currently looking like so. Now, there is a few players in here that you might not have seen yet, and that is because they were out on loan last season and have come back. And the squad is actually looking pretty decent, you know. We've got Muller in goal, who's a 3.5-star sort of goalkeeper, 31 years of age, decent enough keeper. Matriani, who's our right back, 24 years of age, again, looks good enough for me. He's got decent enough stats across the board. I don't believe that he's 24, but apparently he is, so we'll go with it. Leo Gremio with an Austrian centre-back looks fantastic, but he is opting out of his contract in the season, so good for this year and then probably gone. Baumgartel, a 28-year-old centre-back, looks very, very good. Dennis Merkin, I believe it is. He's an English left back / left winger, which is perfect for the system we're playing, with an inside forward, with a full back that can get up there next to him. He looks very, very good. Desirate in DM. We've seen Schallenberg in midfield. It's a very good defensive midfielder. Again, great leadership, teamwork, stamina, natural fitness. Perfect for that role right there. And with Asan Rodrigo just next to him, our absolute star boy. Novoa on the right wing. Again, we've seen. And Kenyan Kerman is going to be our left winger. This guy's 30 years old. Not ideal, but he's a big inside forward on the left, 6'2". Again, then back post crosses, are going to be flying into him. And Brian Lasme is our striker. 17 long throw-ins, great. 16 jumping, 16 strength, decent enough finishing, decent enough pace. 25 years of age, he actually looks quite good. As backups, Luka Poldic, Bruno, Kaminsky, Dardai, Becker, Mehmet Ayadin, Baluk, Kazui, Adrizi, Karacha, and Ofori are our backups. In terms of development centre, there is a lot of players here which just are not good enough right now, but are going to be in around the Schalke second team and the under-19s, or potentially going out on loan. It's a big old squad, and I can really see how they got themselves into so much financial trouble. We have cleared £25 million, which is good, and debts-wise, we've cleared £25 million off there as well. So we're doing okay in terms of the money side of things. We've done quite well in our first window. I think we've probably shortened the wage bill down quite a lot, getting rid of a lot of old players and bringing in some Wonderkids that don't want too much, but first team football, which is what we're willing to give them. So for this second season, the first season in the Bundesliga, what can we do? Well, it's not what can we do, it's what Brian Lasme can't do. This guy is a bagsman. 24 goals and 6 assists in 32 games. Probably tells you that we did secure safety this season. Having a striker like Big Brian, getting the end of them crosses with that unbelievable jump and reach and heading, decent enough finishing, and as quick as he is, with 18 pace and 14 acceleration, is very, very helpful. He was fantastic this season, and obviously our superstar goal scorer. So Brian Lasme, sir, you are an absolute king. You have kept Schalke in the Bundesliga this season, and in fact, we've done much better than just stay in the Bundesliga. We were just on the edge of top half, coming 10th. Obviously, only 18 teams here in Germany. Bayern Munich, the Harry Kane effect. They didn't end up winning the league, which is hilarious. Leipzig won it. Brian Lasme got top goal scorer. Absolute king. I can't even see Harry Kane on the list. He's so far clear of Harry Kane, Brian Lasme. But yeah, we've come 10th. 10 wins, 12 draws, 12 losses, a 0 goal difference, 42 points. Playing in that 4-3-3 that we did this season was absolutely superb. We had a lot of stand-up performers. I mean, Brian Lasme obviously takes off the #1 spot. But in terms of everyone else, Hugo Novoa, I was doubting, well, I was sort of questioning whether he was good enough for this thing, because when you actually look at his stats, he's not unbelievable. But 10 goals, 9 assists, I said 5 and 5, I'd be happy. He's got me nearly a goal contribution every 1.5 games, so huge fan of that. Derry John Durkin is this guy's name, not Derek. 6 goals and 1 assist, 4 and 7 from Martin Dardai, 3 and 5 again from Asan Rodrigo is good enough for me. 18 years of age. He is progressing very, very nicely, becoming a very well-rounded midfielder. 27 million to 32 million pound in value. We are not going to cash in on him. He is going to be our superstar for this year. Zarate actually hardly played in DM, which is a little bit annoying. I didn't lock him in because we had a lot of good options there, but shows that he probably isn't maybe as good as I maybe thought. His stats look good, but other than that, it's not fantastic. Both our centre-backs want to leave, so 2 new centre-backs have got to come in. Luckily, we've got £2 million to spend. Lots of money here in Germany and at Schalke, which is fantastic. Balance-wise, of course, as you go through the season and you don't get all that money, we've gone down to £32 million in debt, but the debt is going to just keep fluctuating until we get into Europe. That's when we clear this debt off, because that European money is what we need. We need that Champions League bread, if you get what I'm saying. In terms of development centre, again, there's lots of players on here which just aren't good enough. There's so many players with this two-star potential, 2.5-star potential, that I'm simply not interested in. They're not good enough. I'm interested in signings and getting in some Wonderkids from around the world using the scouting parameters. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do. Data hub wise, we are conceded a few too many goals as well. So centre backs is going to be our key priority for this summer. 1.59 goals per game because of Big Brian. Said a bit, Brian. Let's go sign some more players. Right, we're getting into the meat and bones of the save now. Getting into the meat and bones of signings and getting in to where we sign our cover star, Amad Diallo. Less than £10 million. How about free? Released from Manchester United. If you watched the Sunderland video on Monday, you know this guy was an absolute baller in the Championship. and he's going to do it again here. Now, in this save, he didn't go out on loan and didn't get that £40 million value like we had at Sunderland. Instead, he's rotted at United and done absolutely nothing. Didn't play a single game in the last 2 years. So it's time for him to come to Germany and apply his trade over here. And my God, am I a huge fan of Amad Diallo in real life. And he's going to be fantastic in this save for us. 22 years of age, a free signing, already worth £30 million. 16 dribbling, 16 first touch, 17 determination, 16 flair, 16 acceleration, and 16 agility. Amad Diallo, the cover star, is going to carry this club to European glory. We're going to win Champions Leagues with Amad Diallo and his old Sunderland teammate when he was on loan there, Edouard Michou. This guy was also on loan at the same time from PSG, a very good young French midfielder. Also a free signing after his loan spell at Darden Demirspor. He was okay, come back, played in the PSG second team and didn't really do much and got released. So here comes to Schalke. 2.5 star ability, 3.5 star potential ability, 22 years of age. And like I said, a free signing. I'm never going to stuff my nose up at a free signing of one of 23 that can actually do some bits in our team. And Moreno Zivkovic is the next signing, a Croatian centre-back. Yes, if you have not scouted Croatia on this year's FM or on any FM, what are you doing? £2 million what you pay for this guy. And he is set up to be a fantastic defender. The Holy Trinity, 12 heading, 13 marking and 13 tackling. Great pace, great natural fitness, great decision making, determinations and composure at his age as well, at just 21. Playing for the under 21 team, one of the best under 21s teams on the game is Croatia. £2 million. That's an absolute steal for Moreno Zivkovic. Martinelli's come in. Not the Arsenal one. That would be pretty ridiculous, wasn't it? The CDM from Fluminense. This guy, again, looks very, very well-rounded. Looks a bit like Di Zarate. Is as cheap as him as well. £1.2 million. An absolute bargain. This guy was a backup in Brazil, so he's really going to be a backup for us as well behind Dardai, who we signed last summer. But he's a very, very good player to come in and be a rotational option. Good on the ball, well-rounded, exactly what we needed. We also needed a backup to the king striker, Brian Lasme, and Brazilian 22-year-old from Zuidvargem, Mateus Maciedo, is the guy I have signed. Now, I've never heard of this guy. You might not have either. Well, he looks really good as a backup striker. 14 finishing, 12 composure, good pace, 6'1", great off the ball work, and signed for £4 million. We've had to go a bit wild with our signings in this save. I've never been so restricted with finances. Not only is it less than £10 million bargains, at this point, it is less than 5 because I can't bring anyone in with any sort of money because there is no money at the club whatsoever. He has just joined Zuidvargem from Chernomor in Bulgaria. Before that was in the UAE. So this guy is not well known at all, I don't think. And he looks very good. We'll see what we can get out of Big Mateus. Hopefully, lots and lots of goals. I'll be surprised if it's not at least sort of 15 goals in a season with them sort of stats being 22 years of age as well. Hopefully, he can be fantastic. And our final signing is Anyan Khalili from Israel. This guy, again, looks fantastic. Great pace. Great dribbling, great finishing, great determination. And again, £2.3 million, an absolute bargain. Scored 7 goals in 13 last season at his home club. So this guy's hopefully going to come in and be fantastic for us. We're using the same 4-3-3. Muller, Matriarchi, Dardai, Zivkovic, Merkin, Di Zarate, Schallenberg, Wadrego, Novoa, Amad Diallo and Lasme is our strongest team. I think that team is going to be good enough to, again, secure top half. It's really hard to progress the next level when you've got literally no money. Again, finances-wise, we're positive. We're doing well on the debt. It's just not going down quick enough. And I'm worried that this 5 years we're going to run out of time. We'll have to see. You'll have to hold on to the end to see if we actually do run out of time. But the squad's looking good. I'm very happy. Let's get into it. The end of season number 3. Trust me, these results are absolutely fantastic. Before I get there, I need to say a massive, massive shout out to absolute legends on Patreon. The guys on screen right now, you are literally helping change my life. You are literally unbelievable. There has been so many new patrons in the last couple of weeks, and you guys are absolute heroes. What you get over there is these rebuild files. So at the end of season number 5, I upload them. And if you want anything in between as well, feel free to drop me a message and I can send you them. You guys are obviously helping make this content better, this support better. The microphone is brand new, pretty much from you legends on Patreon over the last few months. So a massive thank you to you guys. You are absolute heroes. And if you do feel like you can support, down the bottom of the description is the Patreon link. Feel free to head over there. A massive thank you. But let's get into it. The season 3 results. Sign the new Wonderkid striker and get him to replace Brian Lasme. It doesn't matter. He is so good. 19 goals and 8 assists. And because I actually locked in the striker with this one, he moved himself out to right wing and decided, you know what, I'll go and score loads of goals over there instead. So 12 goals and 6 assists there. And when he played up front, 7 goals and 2 assists in 8 games. Brian Lasme, ladies and gentlemen, is an absolute king and has guided Schalke to a top 4 finish. Your eyes do not deceive you by spending around £15 million is what we've spent so far, I reckon. If we just check 9.5 and 8, £17 million, we've transformed Schalke into a Champions League side. Unbelievable things. Well, that is a fantastic start, I should say. 11 assists for our new Brazilian striker, Macchiato. 8 goals as well. Very, very impressive that. That is a fantastic return for someone that cost £4 million from the Belgian league. So Mateus Macchiato could be your new striker. Brian Lasme was 3rd on the average ratings list. We were 4th in the league. Leipzig have gone back-to-back. Bayern are not going to be happy. I don't think we're ever going to be able to win this league because Bayern are going to be looking to turn this form around very quickly. Dortmund are sitting in 3rd. We're obviously in 4th and quite a way clear of 5th place as well. A 30 goal difference is fantastic, meaning the defenders we signed were brilliant. 0.97 goals per game, less than a goal per game is superb. 1.85 goals per game is superb. And if we look at the league stats actually individually, we were 5th on most goals scored, 2nd on goals conceded. We weren't anywhere on possession because right now that is not what we're looking to do. We're looking to get big results. 8th on passes completed and the most important, 4th on points per game. A fantastic, fantastic season. And it wasn't just Big Brian that turned up. Big Hassan decided he wanted a piece of the cake as well. £74 million value, a leading Bundesliga player. We've been doing this sale for 3 years. He's now made 3 caps for Germany and he has progressed a ridiculous amount in just this last year. Now, if we go to the training development, if we can get there again, because I am very, very stupid and I forget how to find these things. Progress is the one I am looking for, and we go for all time. 3 years, ladies and gentlemen. 4 anticipation, 3 composure, 3 concentration, 2 off the ball, 1 leadership, 2 positioning. His attributes on technical, all but 3 have gone up. His physical stats, all but 1 have gone up. He has literally had one of the biggest glow ups I've seen in just 3 years on FM. 98 caps now for Schalke, 15 goals. This guy is an absolute superstar. He's consistent. He might want to leave because he wants a brand new contract. Well, don't worry, Hassan. We'll get you that contract and you'll be here forever. He's going to be a Schalke legend. Cover star Amad Diallo. Also fantastic. 8 goals and 6 assists. Yes, he is superb on this year's FM. He was good in the championship. I wondered, could he do it at the top flight as well? Yes, he can. Consistent. Loves a big match. Amad Diallo, if you're not using him on this year's FM and you know on a budget, leave it. He's not going to go out on loan for the first season or the second season on the majority of saves. You'll get him for free and he will absolutely kill whatever league you are in. He is superb. And the board, well, they're thinking we've got money now. £45 million transfer budget. Yes, please. We can sign some actually good Wonderkids. And money-wise, the debts are coming down. The balance is looking good. Schalke, we are getting you there. We've got some way to go just yet, but we are going to get there. Baluk was very good with 6 goals and 4 assists. John Derry Merkin with 3 and 8 as well. Zivkovic, a fantastic season. 6.79 as the, how young he is. Hugo Navoa has gone back into that sort of rotational role that I thought he might do, given his stats aren't actually that fantastic. I'm not surprised he's gone down that route. Marius Muller's been fantastic in goal this whole season as well. 32 years of age. A very well-rounded goalkeeper to concede just 33 goals in 34. That right there is a fantastic season number 3. And I've not mentioned the DFB Pokal because we're useless in it. We have been every single season, so ignore it. This doesn't matter. It's the most beautiful trophy there is, but don't worry about it, all right? We're going for the Champions League instead. Season 4, £45 million. Who can we sign? Well, yes, Kempi. Marius Muller was fantastic last season in goal. You're all screaming that at your screen, so why would you sign a young goalkeeper to come in and replace him? Because it's Zion Suzuki. This guy has never been on my saves when I've ever looked for him before. Until this one, I don't care. He's coming in. 19 strength and 17 kicking. This guy, when Manchester United were looking at him, you can tell I'm a United fan and a Christmas fan as well, of course. You can see that this guy, all the sort of compilations of him were how good he was at distributing the ball. And my God, could we use some of that right now, as well as the shot stopping ability. 18 balance, 18 jump and reach, 17 kicking. He looks absolutely outrageously good, and I've never seen him on FM before. He's also incredibly consistent and loves big matches, so the Champions League is built built for Zion Suzuki, and if we wanted to sign a young goalkeeper, this was the season to do it, because after this season, pretty much all the good goalkeepers are going to be above the age of 23. So Zion is in, and of course, it was just £4.5 million from Urara in Japan. He looks fantastic. He's been brilliant over there as well, and we're going to bring him in. He's going to be brilliant here in Germany too. So welcome that man, Zion Suzuki. Pablo Torre. Yes, he's from the Barcelona Academy. Yes, he's killing it at Girona in real life right now. Yes, we picked him up on a free contract. These free contracts are getting ridiculous. How are they so good? I don't know. But look at your sort of under 23s that are expiring and pick them up. £35,000 a week is pretty much all we've paid this guy. We have not paid a single penny for him other than that. He's a fantastic central attack midfielder, a absolute baller, and was obviously through the Racing Santander save, which, if my mind casts me back, work the space to the Racing Santander save, and Pablo Torre was a baller in that. If you know about that, pop that in the comments down below. I think I'm correct on that one. He's got great technique, great flair, great vision. He's an absolute baller. And again, a free signing, so you cannot go wrong. Wolfgang Exweiler was a player we accidentally, well, not accidentally, we released. We didn't sign him through our youth academy system. I signed him again. He got decent enough potential. He's going to be our backup left back at 16. Good old Wolfgang has come in. Kenneth Schmidt is our next signing. £3.5 million to be a centre back for us. A rotational one at that. Extremely consistent. And he loves big matches. In fact, he relishes them. He's got 16 pace. He's got the holy trinity of defensive attributes and is fantastic, and is £4 million. Well, £3.5 million. 3 years playing top flight Bundesliga football. Again, yes, please. I will take him all day long. Valentin Gomez is his centre-back partner. Argentinian from Vélez, signed for £7 million, and again has been fantastic over in Argentina. He is 5'11", so it's a bit of an Alessandro Martinez regen / real life player, if you will. 16 bravery, again, a fantastic defending, heading and marking. Very consistent, loves big matches, and I'm a huge fan of Valentin Gomez, another absolute bargain, and one of my favourite players on FM, one of my favourite players in real life, for the only reason that I was there when this guy was 18, training on the sideline, watching his club Sparta Prague win to a 4-0 victory when I went to Prague. It's Adam Kadabeks. Now this guy, I've got absolutely no other affiliation with him other than that, but in every single save, I seem to look at him and want to sign him. In this save, he's turned into an absolute baller for the first ever time that I've seen. 12 goals in the season before last, where he got 5 and 5 and a 7.15 average rating, and his stats are outrageous. So we're moving into a 4-2-3-1 again. Great pace, great flair, great dribbling, great technique. Adam Kadabets was a signing for £8 million, an absolute bargain. And like I said, I've got a massive affiliation with him for absolutely no other reason other than the fact that I've seen him train on the side of a game before. Adam Karabakh, welcome to the club. New striker, Anthony Descotti. Now, yes, Brian Lasmeyer has been fantastic, but we can see if we can progress someone as well, because Macaldo, I mean, he was our backup striker last year to Lasmeyer, and Lasmeyer playing on the right, and we've got a very good little rotation option, and with the Champions League coming up, another striker would be good. So Anthony Descotte is in, again, a signing for £9.5 million from Charleroi in Belgium. Again, has been bagging goals for fun. 17 last season in the second tier of Belgium, but 11 in the top flight is good. The season before that, what happened to him? I don't know. But he's a bagsman, right? Great determination, great fitness, great pace, great finishing, great composure. Anthony Descotte is our brand new striker and is hopefully going to bag goals for fun for us. Now, I've signed someone at £10 million exactly, and that's Van der Laan. Now, it's on the border. I accept it's a little bit too much maybe on one player, but it is a less than £10 million thing, and I believe we paid £9,999,999 for him. And, well, that's not what it says there, is it? But that's what we're going to say for the sake of the rebuild. He played 17 games last season at Palmeiras, 4 assists, 7.26 average rating, and is fantastic. Is the best left back we could see by a country mile, so I broke the rules by £1, let's say, because it is what it is, all right? He's not the most, well, he's very consistent. He doesn't exactly love big matches, but he's going to be good enough for us, and he makes our team look fantastic. We actually spent £42 million this summer. We did sell Zarate because he hadn't been sort of progressing at all, and Baluk, even though he was quite good last season. Again, players that left last season: Ayadin, Baumgartel, Karacha, Becker, and Bruna. Yeah, there's a lot of outgoings, there's a lot of incomings, there's a lot going on, but the first team is looking absolutely beautiful, and we have completely revamped the age profile of this Schalke side. Suzuki in goal, Matrocini, Schmidt, Gomez, and Van der Laan, Dardai, Rodrigo, Diallo, Khalili, Kadabets, and Descotti. This team is actually beautiful. We have done such a good job, if I say so myself, at completely flipping the sort of script of Schalke. They were set to be down in the dumps in just 3 years, this is our 4th season, we've got the whole squad under 32, well, under 27, other than our backup goalkeeper. That is an absolute dub, in my opinion. Finances are great. We are clearing the debt. We are moving Schalke on. It is our first season in the Champions League again since 2017-2018. So let's see what we can do with the mighty Schalke. Well, in our first season back in the Champions League, we did progress through the league phase, coming 16th with 4 wins and 4 losses. We beat Marseille, Dynamo, Napoli and Trabzonspor, and we lost to Barcelona, PSG, Milan and Salzburg. Is a little bit annoying, but a very, very good sort of set of results there. You'd expect us to lose to Barca, PSG, Milan. You'd expect us to beat Salzburg maybe. And we go into the knockoff playout round. We actually beat Marseille 6-3 on aggregate there before facing PSG again, when we lost 5-0 on aggregate. PSG are quite good. Mbappe's still here. Yeah, it's to be expected, okay? He's very good. We'll leave it at that. Mbappe, ladies and gentlemen. Competitions-wise, we didn't even let the Champions League affect us that much. We were very, very good. We come 5th on 56 points and somehow got the Champions League again. It must be due to the coefficient rankings. We must have done well overall because we're in 5th and we've got Champions League, which I've, again, not seen in Germany before, but I'll certainly take it. Adam Karabek, a 7.22 average rating, making one of the best players in the Bundesliga. Goals-wise, we didn't have anyone in the top or assists, which is a little bit disappointing, but it means we were so well-rounded as a squad, which I guess is even better. 15 goals, 6 assists from Karabek, 15 goals, 5 assists from Descotti, and 13 goals, 7 assists from Asa Modrigo, 12 goals and 10 assists for the revival of Hugo Novoa. This guy is like a yo-yo. He's up, he's down, he's everywhere. He scores goals for fun. Amad Diallo, 8 and 9. Pablo Torre, 4 and 5. Dardai, 4 and 3. Brian Lasme, I can't even see him. 3 goals, 1 assist. The biggest fall-off you've ever seen. Rest in peace, our boy Brian. Unlucky Brian, mate. You have not quite made it, but you are here in the Champions League. And did you play? You started and made 10 off the bench in the Champions League. So you know what, Brian? You did it, mate. You didn't RP. You smashed it. You absolutely smashed it. The finances as well, because of that Champions League run, are outrageously good. The Champions League brings so much money. It's fantastic. We've got £100 million in the bank. And the debts are down to £100 million as well. We are nearly clear of the debt. If we would spend all of our money on the debt, we would be £1 million in the red. And I tell you what, from the start, that is a bloody good effort. I tell you that right now. We have got one more season. I'm going to try and get you some absolute Wonderkids. £47 million, 180k in the wage budget. Let's go. Let's move this to the next step and lift a Bundesliga trophy. Might be too far. And with a much more sort of down-to-earth window, this one, £16 million spent overall. And number 1 is a backup right back, Alex Freeman from the Orlando City Academy. 19 determination. Outrageous how high that is. 16 marking, 12 tackling, 12 heading, 6'2", great pace. A backup right back with an absolute mission to make it in Europe. Alex Freeman, welcome to Schalke. You're going to be a fantastic player for us. Gustav Klodstad Nyheim from Norway, a Norwegian player who looks outrageous. It's not Naipan. He was a little bit more than 10 million. This is the budget Naipan. We spent a grand total of 2.5 million on him. He's from Mulder and he's fantastic. He's been absolutely smashing it as well. 16 determination, 16 natural fitness, so he can run a hell of a lot. Great dribbling, great first touch, great long shots, passing, technique and vision. And again, 6'2". He argues with officials. I love that so much. I want him to be in the officials' ears, like a bit of Bruno Fernandes vibes. He's very, very consistent and hopefully he can be a star player for us. We've looked at Alex Freeman already. Angel Alcaron is our next signing to be a left winger. Left wing's been a little bit weak in the last couple of years, and maybe this guy can be the superstar we need. 16 dribbling, 17 agility and 16 flair. Stand out straight away. Signed from Atletico Madrid. I believe he's from the Barcelona Academy and moved over there before going out on loan to Famil Xiao, and we signed him for £6 million. Angel Alcaron on your saves is in the Barcelona Youth Academy. Again, he looks fantastic, doesn't he? And for a grand total of £6 million, you can't argue. Very consistent, loves big matches, are my 2 favourite things. If you've watched this channel before, you know that. I love that saying, and it is my saying. And if I ever get any merchandise, consistent, loves big matches will be right across the front of it. And Vladimir Esgeta is the first regen and only regen we have signed. Now, I do try and keep these 2 non-regens when we sign them because you guys can't find them on your saves if they're regens. And obviously, you do get a save on Patreon and you get to use these regens, but a lot of you guys aren't doing that. You're watching the video and looking for Wonderkids. So we've signed one, all right? He looks fantastic. He was too good not to sign. £5 million from Osijek in Croatia. And again, little tip, look in Croatia for your Wonderkids. They are is the gold mine of Wonderkids. Great aggression, bravery, determination. 6'1", the holy trinity of absolute dreams. 15 headed, 17 tackling, and 13 marking. Great pace, and he is going to be fantastic for us. And that is all we did in terms of incomings this season. It was a very reserved window from us, which is good to see because you don't always need to spend all the money, and that's how you get the finances looking right. Suzuki in goal, Matriani, Schmidt, Gomez, Van der Laan, Rodrigo, Dardai, Diallo, Cadabets, Alcaron, and Descotti up front. Muller, Freeman, Zivkovic, Esgeta, Merkin, Schellenberg, Martinelli, Novoa, Nyheim, Torre, and Macchiato as our backup. Suzuki last season as well, forgot to mention, was very, very decent for us. 29 games and 40 goals conceded. A bit more than Muller would have done, but you know what? A good season for a 23-year-old, developing very, very well as well. A huge, huge fan. Now, we've got one more season to do. How can we do it? Remember, at the end of this season, we're going to check out the full progress of Bassam Rodrigo, and it is unbelievable when we get there as well. So, let's see what we can do. Champions League, Pokal, Bundesliga, treble. Well, I tell you what, if I didn't get humbled by not getting the treble, it's because we lost 1-0 in the second round to Paderborn. That is absolutely awful in terms of the DFB Pokal. We got second rounded in every single season of this 5 years, which means it wasn't meant to be. But I tell you what was meant to be. We've done it. We've actually done it. In season 5, we have won the Bundesliga. Bayern Munich in this save has been absolutely awful, winning it just twice. And we've won it this year on 69 points. Basically no points. That is not even that good of a point tally. 5 points more than we got in our third season in this save. And we've absolutely smashed it. 38 goals. We've actually won the 8th Bundesliga title. When we're sitting there spending no money whatsoever with no hope, I genuinely did not have an absolute pray that this was going to happen. Schalke, Bundesliga champions. It's been a long old time since that's been seen, but it is back. Adam Karabek was fantastic. 14 goals and 4 assists as that shallow striker in the cam role. Unbelievable signing. If you can get him, get him. Like I said, for me, I've seen him train once. I'm a big fan. Angel Alcaron, 12 assists and 5 goals, 15 assists overall for him. He was very, very good in the Champions League as well. We'll get there in just a second. In terms of big matches, he relishes them. In consistency, he was fantastic as well. And in terms of Asan Wadrego, wow. What a player. 18 goals and 5 assists in 47 games. I actually have never really used him this much. 164 goals and 164 games and 34 goals. In terms of his progression over this whole save, I'm actually baffled. I have never really seen so many +4s in my life. So many +2s, so many +3s. Unbelievable progression from Asan Wadrego, and it's something to be proud of. We have made him one of the best players in the world. Now 8 caps for Germany, £77 million value. He does want to leave, so if you are going to pick this save up, give him a brand new contract. In fact, you know what? We'll do that for you right now, shall we? Oh, no, he won't. He's going to, all right, he wants to go and do the Euros first. So, but after that, get Asan on a brand new contract. He's fantastic. Champions League were round of 16 by Arsenal, who got all the way to the final. PSG have won it 3 times in a row. We beat Milan in the knockout playoff round, which is great in the league phase. We got 3 wins against Feyenoord, Lens, and Sociedad. We drew to FC Rapid, which is awful, and lost to Leipzig, Tottenham, Spurs, and Barcelona and Chelsea. But you know what? This 5-year rebuild has been ridiculous. Probably one of my best rebuilds I've ever done. Anthony Descotte, I've never heard of him. 19 goals and 9 assists in the Bundesliga. Great determination, great natural fitness, great finishing, great pace. I'm such a big fan of what we've done in this rebuild. We've literally ripped up a club that were doing absolutely nothing to beat superstars. Ahmad, 13 goals and 7 assists. Alcaron was touched on already, was brilliant. We've already got some players here that were here from the very start as well, like Henning Matriani, I believe was here from day one. He might be the only one. Marius Müller is still here. Merkin is still here. Schallenberg is still here. Maybe they're backups now, but from the Bundesliga 2 to German champions, I think they'll take that. And my most impressive thing is clearing the debt. Effectively, £166 million in the bank, £40 million in debt. If you put that money into the debt, it's clear. And you've got £120 million to spend. And for you lot on Patreon, £85 million transfer budget, £90,000 wage budget. I don't think you'll see a better Schalke rebuild on YouTube for this whole FM cycle. In fact, ever. What a rebuild. We've done it with Wonderkids under the age of 23. If you guys would like to put the save up on Patreon, like I said, that is down below. If you want to watch any other rebuilds, we rebuilt Sunderland on Monday down here, and it was superb. The Tractor Boys are on a charge for Premier League football. Last season, they won Sky Bet League One, and this season, they are looking like they could be a dominant force in the Championship as well. Currently sitting in second place behind former Premier League winners Leicester, above teams like Southampton and Leeds, and are doing absolutely fantastic. They look on track to be at least in the playoffs, if not automatically promoted to the Premier League, which means back-to-back promotion for Kieran McKenna's army. And he looks like a fantastic manager, and as long as they keep him, they will do absolute bits. Now, they've had some fantastic managers in the past as well, like Sir Ralph Ramsey and Sir Bobby Robson, and they did end up winning the Premier League in the 60s and also won the UEFA Europa League equivalent in the 1980s. So can we return Ipswich back to former glory in this Ipswich Town 5-year Wonderkid rebuild? Now, Ipswich's team for the Championship is absolutely fantastic. If we look through the starting 11 here as we kick things off, it's Walton in goal, Harry Clark, Luke Wolfenden, Axel Tuanzebe, Brandon Williams, Sam Morsey, Massimo Lawungo, Amari Hutchinson, Connor Chaplin, Nathan Broadhead, and George Hurst as the starting 11. A few standout players in there. Axel Tuanzebe can pocket Kylian Mbappe on his day, and he is now here in the Championship. So we'd like to see Axel progress very nicely. Brandon Williams and Hutchinson in on loan should do bits this season before going back to parent clubs at the end of the season. Captain Sam Morsey in DM as well as a fantastic CDM, 31 years of age, so might not be around for the whole rebuild, but hopefully we can get Sam Morsey some Premier League football in the next few years. And Connor Chaplin as well, 17 finishing as a shallow striker, suits this team and formation down to an absolute T. He should absolutely break the goal scoring record for this league if Super George Hurst doesn't himself. He was brilliant in League One in real life last season. Hopefully he can emulate that form this season in the Championship. And like I said at the start, Ipswich are a club with a very, very big history. A Premier League title in 1962, a UEFA Europa League in 1981, an FA Cup also in 1978. So can we get them back to them glory days? The goal isn't to get out of the Championship. We know we can do that with pretty much any team in the Championship within a couple of seasons maximum. We did it with QPR, for Christ's sake. So I'd be expecting to win the Championship this season, at least have a very good go at it, if not come second. And I've seen a few comments saying that Ipswich don't need a rebuild, and you're right, they don't need a rebuild to get out of the Championship, but the goal of this rebuild is to get them into European football, and who knows, lift a European trophy within 5 years. So can we do that? Can we return Ipswich back to the glory days and make them the Super Tractor Boys? Let's get right into it. Season number 1 simulation. Let's go. Now, very quickly, if you've ever enjoyed one of my videos, can you do me a massive favor and just hit that subscribe button down below? We are on a goal to hit 5,000 subscribers by the end of this year, which would be absolutely crazy and beyond my wildest dreams at the start of the year. We weren't even on 1,000, and the growth has been fantastic due to your legends' unbelievable support. And we're going to be looking to pump this content out over the Christmas period, over the New Year period as well. So if you are enjoying what you're seeing on the channel, you love the rebuilds, subscribe to the channel. It's free to do so, and you can make my dreams come true. Now let's get into it for the end of season 1. Now, as expected, this season would be rather easy. 102 points wins us the Championship table, but my lord, was it close. 101 from Leeds and 100 from Birmingham. So 3 teams on 100 points, and Birmingham didn't even get promoted. Southampton beat them in the playoff final. We also got 97 points. Hull with 90 points, and Leicester, current leaders, with only 83 points. A very poor season from them, but we don't care because we did absolute wonders. 102 points, a 62 goal difference, scored the most goals on 104 goals. You conceded the second fewest. Leeds were just ridiculous at not conceding goals this season, so we come second to them. We didn't keep much possession because we were too busy putting the ball in the back of the net, and then the other team were retaining a little bit of possession from there. But we did score the most goals, and we had the most points per game, which is the most important thing as we look at our data hub for this season as well. 2.26 goals per game, 0.91 goals conceded per game, and the tactic we ended up using was the overachieving 4-2-3-1. We've used this tactic a hell of a lot recently because it is simply fantastic. If you do want to download that, it is somewhere on the Sort It Out as our website a couple of weeks ago. You'll be able to find it. It's absolutely fantastic. Now, in terms of the players that were fantastic this season, I alluded to the fact that George Hurst would be absolutely outrageous, and that indeed he was. 36 goals this season and just the 1 assist, with Connor Chaplin behind him, 14 goals and 11 assists. These two are going to be good enough for the Premier League, I hope, with them sort of results, both hitting over a 7.0 average rating. Wes Burns as well, I know, is a massive fan favourite, 9 goals and 13 assists. Leif Davis down that left back side, 18 assists and 6 goals as well, is absolutely ridiculous. In terms of average ratings though, the best player was Leif Davis, second George Hurst, Christian Walton in goal, actually played in front of Vlakap Hladecki, who I believe plays in real life. Now, Welton just looks a bit better and actually was fantastic this season. So, Kieran McKenna, if you're watching, that's who you need to play in goal. Not that you need any tips based on what you've been doing recently. Cameron Humphreys as well was someone we need to touch on because he is a fantastic young central midfielder who's got fantastic potential as well. This season started 38 games in central midfield with 4 goals, 4 assists, over a 7 average rating as a 19-year-old turning 20 as well. That is absolutely outrageous. And of course, he's consistent, which is beautiful to see. And hopefully we can get absolute bits out of Cameron Humphreys. Now, of course, the board are going to be fairly generous. We are now going to be clearing all sorts of debt at the club. We're going to be a Premier League team. So they've given us £36 million to go ahead and spend. There is already £12 million in the balance as well. And that is without our TV licenses coming in, our lovely new sponsorship revenue, I imagine, for getting in to the Premier League. So there's a few positions I want to go ahead and strengthen. We need to try and sign a brand new left back or a brand new right back, to be fair, and Leif Davis can play left back because obviously Brandon Williams is gone and Amari Hutchinson is also gone. And in terms of other players I'm looking to replace, we look through the reports of the team. A new centre mid, maybe instead of Massimo Wongo, would be a good shout. And maybe a new left winger instead as well, instead of Nathan Broadhead. But we've got the money to go ahead and do it. We're signing players under the age of 23 as per usual in these rebuilds. I haven't set up the recruitment focuses yet, but we do the special recruitment focuses that you would have seen over the channel in the last few weeks. And again, we'll go through that when we get there. So let's see who we can sign for season 2 and our first season back in the Premier League in over 20 years. And just to show you, these are the wonderful scouting methods we have been using. You basically put 15 to 23 years of age, set to any position from any tactic. If you don't know how to do that, your normal tactic will be here that you'll be using. You click any on that bit, any position. It comes up with every single position. Potential ongoing, I set for Europe and South America, 1.5 stars of current ability, 3.5 stars potential ability, 15 to 23, and let them go and do their thing. And then for nations such as like Africa, Asia, Oceania, I make the requirements a little bit less just to see if we can get some more variety in. But again, it works very, very well indeed. And this is the sort of thing you're going to be doing to try and find the best Wonderkids from around the world. And the other thing I would say as well is finding the right staff is absolutely vital. You can see we've got 8 staff members that are going to be from sort of all around the world. And you can see from the world knowledge, we have done very, very well done, exceptional at signing the right staff, so we can find players that are going to be good in North America, good in South America, good in Africa, good in Asia and Oceania, and also fantastic in Europe as well. That's the main thing that I would say if you're going to be doing these sort of scout methods. Make sure you're finding staff that are good enough to go ahead and do it, and how to find that sort of staff. If you go into staff search, staff role scout, and then in terms of judging potential ability, you want to sort of get this up and up and up as you go forward. But you want to set this world knowledge, which can be found in add condition, scouting, world knowledge, to a nation that you're looking for, at least average. I put here at Denmark to try and find a scout that's probably going to be good all over Europe. If you're looking for Africa, I would recommend looking at either Nigeria or Ghana. The Nigerian leagues look absolutely fantastic this year for regions. Asia, look to Japan. In the Oceania category, I always look to Asia and then Australia because I never find anyone in the Oceania category. North America, look for USA, and South America, look for Brazil, and try and find someone that has good scouting knowledge across the board, and that is how you're going to find some fantastic Wonderkids. There will be a Scout and Wonderkid regens video coming up very, very soon for you guys as well. So if you are going to, want to try and find some regens, I will be showing you how to go ahead and do that. But it's time to get into our signings. It's Brandon Williams, everybody. He's back on a free contract from Manchester United as they didn't renew his contract. So I thought, you know what? This guy can play left back. He can play right back. He's very, very good with both feet. In fact, better with his right foot, which means Leif Davis can be our starting left back. And he's absolutely brilliant. So welcome in Brandon Williams on a free contract. Absolute legend. Can hopefully progress very well with Super Axel to Wednesday. But you've signed someone who's been killing it in the Championship recently as well as Jack Clark. Now, this guy's at Sunderland in real life and has been absolutely doing bits. He's got 16 dribbling, 16 flair, great pace, great determination as well. And signed for £13.75 million after last season. He scored 14 goals and got 5 assists in the Championship. I thought it was an absolute no-brainer to get Jack Clark in. Like I said, in real life for Sunderland, looks like one of the best players in the Championship. And for this sort of price, you're not going to find someone who's English, got this sort of ability. So welcome in Super Jackie Clark. A backup striker to George Hurst is Armindio Sieb as well. This guy is playing at Greuther Fürth in Germany and is an absolute bargain at £3.2 million. His stats look absolutely outrageous. Some fantastic pace, great dribbling, finishing and first touch and determination, ambitious personality, which I personally like a lot, can play in behind the striker very well, and as the number 9 has great potential, and hopefully Armindo Seeb can be a fantastic young backup for us. Ousmane Diakate is someone we found from TSV Hartberg in Austria for £4.5 million. Look at this guy's stats. For £4.5 million, you don't seem to find many better. He's consistent, a little bit injury prone, a little bit doesn't like big matches, but hopefully for us can stay fit and be an absolute superstar. He is so well rounded in pretty much every single stat you need to midfielder. Mentally, pretty much all above a 10 other than leadership and aggression, which is fine. In terms of technical ability, great first touch, dribbling, passing, technique, and physically can run and is fairly quick. So Ousmane Diakate, £4.5 million, an absolute bargain. And Nathan Ferguson has come into the club as a backup centre-back on a free contract, released from Crystal Palace. To be honest, not quite good enough for the Premier League, but as a fourth choice centre-back, I thought, why on earth not? Another one who's incredibly injury prone, but hopefully playing 15, 20 games this season. If that, he should be absolutely fine as a backup centre-back. And the last signing we've gone ahead and made is a backup left-back to Leif Davis, as Thomas Galvez signed from Manchester City. This guy is a Wonderkid from there. £1 million is all we spent on him. He's a Finland under-19 international. Great pace, great ability, great natural finish, great balance, great decision-making. Not very good determination, but hopefully we can grow that with the in-squad dynamics. But looks like an absolute bargain for £1 million, and hopefully can develop into being a good enough backup for Leif Davis. Not being funny, he's fantastic and gets in the team straight away. And as you can see, our team we're looking at is Christian Walton stays in goal for season 1 in the Premier League. Brandon Williams, Axel Tuanzebe, Luke Wolfenden and Leif Davis, with 2 DMs of Diakate and Cameron Humphreys. Wes Burns, Connor Chaplin, Caden Jackson, George Hurst. Now, Jack Clark is going to start over Caden Jackson on the left-hand side, so don't worry about that. We've got Klodecki, Harry Clark, Burgess, Ferguson, Galvez, Morsey, Taylor, Caden Jackson, Harness, Broadhead and Armindo Seeb as the backups as well, which I think for a Premier League team is going to be just about good enough for survival. That is our goal. I mean, I imagine if we check the season preview, we're going to be quite low down. We are indeed at 1,000 to 1. Obviously, Leeds and Southampton just relegated, just promoted, so they're going to be up well above us. And us at 1,000 to 1, we'd be putting up for Leicester if we won the league. I don't think that's going to happen, but you never say never. We've learned to never count out a team recently promoted. So season 1 in the Premier League, season 2 in the rebuild. How are we going to do with Ipswich? Can we go ahead and cause an upset? Can we stay safe? That would be the biggest goal of us this season. Well, I tell you what, we caused an absolute right stir. We come 13th place in the Premier League on the magic 40 points, 42, and nice and safe. I mean, a lot of teams on 41, but we hit the magic 42. We were the best team at the recently promoted clubs, better than Leeds, better than Southampton, who come bottom on 24 points. Then 1,000 to 1 odds looks ridiculous now, don't they? We even had a spot at 3rd place at the start of the season. Now, of course, that declined, and we never really went into the relegation zone, which is good to see, but a mid-table club after one season in the Premier League is very, very impressive. He must have made some fantastic signings. Sadly, the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup didn't quite go to plan, but getting drawn against Arsenal in the 3rd round and then losing to Fulham isn't the end of the world in the Carabao Cup. And to be honest, securing safety was much more important than a deep run in a cup competition. The players that carried us to our safety as well were, of course, Super George Hurst, 15 goals and 2 assists, and brand new signing Jack Clark with 11 and 3 as well. Leif Davis carrying on that outrageous sort of assisting form as well is great to see. Connor Chaplin, 6 goals and 2 assists as a 20-game starter in that cam role. Was decent, wasn't fantastic, but I mean, he should be good enough. He's got a value of £30 million now, which is a bit outrageous, as has George Hurst. So maybe we just sell them and make £60 million, because, I mean, they are not good enough for this level. Jack Clark, however, is progressing very, very well. Looks absolutely brilliant. Great dribbling, flair and pace, like we mentioned, and had a very, very good first season in the Premier League as well. So exciting to see how well he done. Cameron Humphreys, 19 starts in the Premier League, did absolute wonders as well. 2 goals and 6 assists, progressing very nicely. And Captain Sam Morsey, 27 starts and 10 off the bench. great to see Sam Morsy in the Premier League. I'm glad we sort of fulfilled a dream probably of Ipswich fans of getting this guy to captain your side in the Premier League. And I tell you what, to 13th place as well, which is very, very impressive and something I'm very, very happy with, because season 2, it means we've got £45 million to go and spend, 70k in wage budget. We can tweak things just a little bit, but that should be absolutely fine. In terms of finances, like I said, now we're in the Premier League, it's going to start skyrocketing. £76 million in overall balance. That's a 60 million growth based on last season. There's absolutely no debt at the club as well. So as long as we stay sensible with signings, which by signing Wonderkids, we sort of have to anyway, because we aren't going to sign anyone like Pedri for 100 million because they're not going to come here. So just signing Wonderkids that are going to progress very well and for cheap and selling them on for lots of money, we are going to become a very rich club by the end of this 5 seasons. So let's get right into this season's transfers and see if we can get anyone in that is going to absolutely change the game. Seasons for signing number 2. We'll have to wait just 1 second because I want to just say a massive thank you to the legends on screen right now, the Patreon members. You guys are absolute heroes. You literally make my dreams come true of making content, and you get these rebuild files as well. And I couldn't say thank you enough. Words can't describe how much the support from you guys has went in the last couple of weeks. And if you want to get these rebuild files like this Ipswich file or like the Manchester United rebuild file or the retro files, the Santos files, they are all available down below on that Patreon link. And if you want to go ahead and do that, it helps support me massively, and obviously you get a nice little save to play over Christmas. So if you feel like doing that, link is down below. If you feel like you want to play a brand new save, this could be perfect for you Ipswich fans. I'm going to rebuild you to a very high standard by the end of season 5, where hopefully we're going to be in Europe and hopefully maybe even a champion of Europe as well, and you guys can pick that up and you can enjoy the save from there. So let's get into it, those season 2's transfers. The best Wonderkid keeper on the game has come here to Ipswich. Guilherme Restes is here. I've just said we're not going to be able to sign any ridiculous Wonderkids. This guy is quite simply the best Wonderkid goalkeeper on the game, and we signed him for £17 million from Toulouse. He's had some fantastic seasons in Ligue 1 and Ligue 2, where he conceded only 24 goals in 26 games. And obviously, being in Ligue 2, his value has dropped a fair bit. So £17 million is an absolute bargain. He's already got a value of 44. Now he's here with us. I imagine he's going to become a French international very quickly. Great determination, great reflexes. And if you've never used Guilherme Restes, what are you doing? First of all, you might just not signing Wonderkids. If you like signing Wonderkids and you've never signed this guy, do it. You're going to see the progression on him is absolutely outrageous, and that's the first signing and the only real major signing of this summer. Next one is a striker to compete with George Hurst. Is Ignacio Maestro Puig from Athletic Tucumán in Argentina. £3.7 million that we paid for him. He scored double-figure goals in back-to-back seasons in the top flight of Argentina in the last 2 seasons. For £3.7 million, seems like an absolute bargain. 16 determination, great acceleration, pace, finishing, dribbling, first touch, 21 years of age, extremely consistent. There's someone a little bit different. It's very easy to go ahead and sign these same Wonderkids time and time again, but signing someone like Maestro Puig for £3.2 million, why on earth not? Another signing from Argentina, which seems to be a bit of a gold mine for finding Wonderkids, is Federico Redondo. Now this guy's got a value of £43 million. We paid 6 for him just about a month ago. So an absolutely outrageous signing. 17 long shots, 16 passing, great decision making and composure, great first touch, great physical ability, consistent, loves a big match, 22 years of age, and again now comes in as the best central midfielder, if not the best player at the club. For just £6 million, welcome in Federico Redondo as our brand new central midfielder. And the last signing I made is Samba Diallo. This guy's from Dynamo Kiev in, I believe, Ukraine. He's played 18 games for them, had a very decent first season, not so good last season, but £3.5 million. The Twitch chat told me this guy was a demon, and my god do I believe it. 17 dribbling, 17 flair, fantastic pace and acceleration, great technique, great passing. He looks absolutely fantastic for that sort of money. He loves a big match as well, so in big games this season we should see Samba Diallo do absolute bits. We've had to give him an ESC spot as he didn't qualify for a work permit, but not the end of the world. He'll be absolutely fantastic for us, and for that sort of bargain price, we couldn't turn it down. Now, in terms of players leaving the club this season, no one major really has. Ryan Kerr, Matt Ward, Finley Brook, George Edmondson, Steve Turner, Jack Taylor, Ryan Kerr. Amindo Steve's gone out on loan to Bristol City. Last season, again, no one really left us properly, so we've not had too much sort of fuss to worry about. Release players-wise, Cameron Burgess, Ndada, El Muzunzi, Mahadi, Stewart, Gambiang, Duamia, Ayula, Alex Graham, Ben Haddock, Charlie Binns have all left the club. Vadlat Kaladecki, Fedil Adapo, Kaya Jackson, Brighton have also all left the club, as well as all of these as well. So there is a lot of turnover, a lot of players that aren't going to make it through the youth academy, who just simply aren't quite good enough, are going to end up leaving the club on a free transfer. Our best team right now looks like so good. I mean, Restes, Brandon Williams, Tuanzebe, Wolfenden, Leaf, Davis, Diakate and Humphreys in midfield. I probably wouldn't say it's that. It's probably Diakate and Redondo in midfield, with Jack Clark, Connor Chaplin, Sam Diallo and the Maestro Pooch up front. Season number 3, season 2 in the Premier League. Can we secure safety again and not fall to second season syndrome? But some serious foundations have been laid at the club, and back-to-back seasons of safety and never even dipping our toe into the relegation zone is very, very impressive. And we now have a sort of a springboard to go up and now look to go into European football. This season finishing 14th, 11 wins, 7 draws, 20 losses. Again, goal difference isn't great conceding too many goals, but hitting 40 points in the second season. You know, you've had that sort of massive surge of morale in the first season in the Premier League after you've just dominated the Championship, so you're expected to sometimes stay up. Second season, though, a season of topsy-turvy form, and you never really have that morale coming into it. Can you stay up? And we have done by 7 points, which is very, very impressive. Blackburn have gone straight back down, as have Sheffield United, and I'm not sure who else went down and come back up. Leeds are still here, which is something to say. City are top of the league and winning it again, and yeah, we're never going to win the league. City are just way too good, and we can't even get anywhere near them. I've never seen that, though. Edison, top of the average ratings list. A goalkeeper doing that is absolutely wild. How many goals did they concede? Just 23. A very, very impressive season. Again, though, for us, sort of going through the goal and assists, we're not absolutely smashing it. It's fairly average. 11 goals, 6 assists from Connor Chaplin's good to see. 8 and 1 for Hurst and 8 and 1 for Pooch, winning 16 goals for my strikers is good. Jack Clark, 7 and 4, also good. Leif Davis is an absolute assist king. So the left-hand side did very, very well. And Federico Redondo, our brand new signing as well. 1 goal and 5 assists in 33 games. Looks absolutely fantastic. That value is stunning for a man we signed for just £6 million. But this season we can't really waffle on too much because there's not a lot to really say. Finances are looking great. They've given us even more money, £63 million to go and spend. I think now it's time to slowly move away from the sort of Championship club we do have and move into trying to be one of them really good Premier League mid-table clubs. You know, signing players like Mitrovic. I mean, we're not going to go ahead and get him, but players that can really take us to that next level rather than just trying to scave off relegation, moving up to the next step, seeing if we can get into the top half for season 4 and the third season in the Premier League would be absolutely vital. So signing someone who has been very, very good over at Liverpool in the last few years and has also been out on loan in Germany this season, not played too many games, but is a very talented player, is Fabio Carvalho. Now, this guy killed it in the Championship when he was at Fulham. Moved to Liverpool maybe a tad too early and hasn't quite had the career he was looking for, but now joining a mid-table Premier League club, maybe this is his chance to shine. £16.5 million is all we ended up paying for him, and he is a fantastic talent. Great agility, acceleration, pace, determination, dribbling, finishing, first touch. Hopefully Fabio Carvalho can be fantastic for us. A value again of £36 million. Fabio Carvalho, welcome to the club, as well as cover star and absolute hero Hannibal Mejbri. Now, obviously I'm a United fan, and I always sign a Man United rebuild Wonderkid. We've got Amad Diallo on the front of a Schalke rebuild. In this team alone, there's Tuanzebe, Brandon Williams, and now Hannibal Mejbri. I can't help it, but when he's £9 million that we spent on him, a value of £47 million with some of these stats, it's hard not to pick him up. Great stamina and work rate, great aggression and determination, fantastic technical stats as well, and sort of playing in that cam role rather than Connor Chaplin as an advanced playmaker. I think he is going to absolutely thrive here at Ipswich. Again, loves a big match, loves consistency. He is just very, very aggressive and loves to get booked. So we'll have to keep an eye on that one, but hopefully he can do very well for us. He done well in Montpellier in Ligue 1 when he was there on loan, and has done okay for Man United when played, but not played enough. So picking him up for £9 million is an absolute no-brainer. So welcome Hannibal Mejbri, and also welcome in Nathan Zeze. Now again, in the Twitch chat, I've been told this guy is one of the best Wonderkid centre-backs on the game, and I certainly believe it looking at him right here. A value of £42 million, some fantastically well-rounded stats, ambitious personality, £28.5 million, yes, is a lot, but for a player of this sort of ability at 21 years of age, I feel like we're looking at a young Varane right now. You know, young, French, great pace, great defensive stats. Who knows where he could progress into? 5-star potential. One of the most expensive signings we will make in this rebuild by far. Nathan Zeze, welcome to the club. And then one of the cheaper options, we've gone ahead and signed a young Norwegian winger with the name of Sindre Wale-Egieli. Now, this guy's FC Norgesland in real life, where he's been very decent in this save, but looks like an absolute talent. Great flair, great pace, finishing, dribbling, first touch, very determined winger, 5-star potential, consistent, brought in as a backup, should be fantastic. That is it in terms of signings, because I think we have massively progressed the club in just them few signings. So Restes, Williams, Zeze, Tuanzebe and Leif Davis sounds like a very good young defence. Redondo and Humphreys in midfield, again fantastic, with Jack Clark, Hannibal Mejbri, Fabio Carvalho and the Pooch up top. I think we have a very, very strong side. We've also signed Paulson, who we didn't go through there, but as a backup goalkeeper from New Zealand. £1.2 million is all we spent on him. Looks absolutely fantastic. He's going to again got an ESC slot because he's not quite there in terms of work permit, but this new rule is fantastic. We can get him in. So welcome Paulson, Clark, Ferguson, Wolfenden, Galvez, Nascimento, Diakate, Wally Ejili, Chaplin, Diallo and George Hurst as our backups. Development centre, there really is absolutely no one come through the academy that's good enough, which is a shame. Stephen Gibb is the only one. He's 18 years of age and quite frankly isn't good enough. He's got the potential, but I don't think he's ever going to get anywhere. And like you can see here, just not a lot coming through the academy. The info wise, we're okay on youth facilities, but not fantastic. The recruitment isn't great. The facilities are okay. The facilities training wise are quite good. Again, predicted to come 19th by the media. They do not believe in these super tractor boys, but I do. I think this season is our season to break into the top half. So can we do it? Yes, we can. We have made the small stride from 40 points to 56 points and snuck in by the skin of our teeth to Europa Conference League football. Now it's a competition that Ipswich have never won, because obviously it wasn't a thing back in the 80s when they were a good side, but it's something I would like to try and get ticked off the list, and it is our best chance by far of winning a European trophy. 56 points, a +9 goal difference is a fantastic sort of progression from last season indeed. We are looking like a much better side, conceding just 43 goals all season. I said the defence was very, very good, and we have shown that this season indeed. 14 wins, 14 draws, just 10 losses, mainly to the bigger sides as well, all games away from home. Pretty much only 3 of them are at home, so making Portman Road a fortress. A positive goal difference as well is fantastic to see, and the players that carried us to it. I mean, Pooch up front this season, 19 goals and 2 assists. Remember, we signed this guy for just £3.2 million. I mean, the saying is a good championship level striker. He's just hit double figures in the Premier League. In fact, 18 goals in the Premier League alone. I would say he's certainly a Premier League level striker, and if you guys have never used him, he's a bargain. Go ahead and try him. Jack Clark, 12 goals and 6 assists. Sindre Wale-Egieli with 4 and 4. 3 and 3 from Diogo Nascimento. Hannibal Mejbri with 3 goals and 6 assists, and his stats are absolutely stupid. He's wanted by clubs like Al Ahly in Saudi Arabia, where you could probably go and earn £700,000 a week, but we're going to be trying to keep hold of him on that £38 million value, and hopefully he can become a superstar here at the club. Redondo, 7 assists. Leif David, 6 assists yet again, and yeah, there's not much to go through again. We're in Europe, which is fantastic. We haven't really spoken about the FA Cup or Carabao Cup at all in this rebuild, because every single time it's 4th round or 3rd round knockouts, which isn't very good and is very, very annoying. I'd have liked to have lifted an FA Cup again, but I just don't think it's going to happen. We've not been fantastic in it, and the Carabao Cup, we haven't even had a sniff. 3rd round by Chelsea this time. I think we've lost to Arsenal a couple of times, and it is what it is. We move. By the way, what a low-scoring and crazy Premier League season this actually was. 74 points for United, 74 for Arsenal, 74 for City. Of course, City win the league again, making this run an absolute joke. But a very, very tight season, you know. 22 points to league. Who knows? Maybe next season is our season. In fact, only 18 points off the top, actually, including good mathematics that we get here on the channel. Haaland with 30 goals. Like I said, a very, very weird season this season in the Premier League. But that's season 4, again, doing absolute wonders. We are now back in Europe with the Super Tractor Boys. So can we make a few signings to take us to that very next level? Well, it was very hard to find players that could take us there. And one thing that certainly didn't help is that our superstar goalkeeper, Guillermo Restes, ending up leaving us to Chelsea. Now, we did get offered a sum of £44 million, which was too good to turn down and might even been his release clause. So he is off to go and be Chelsea's #1 goalkeeper. He did make a France cap while here with us, but sadly, he is off. And we had to place a brand new goalkeeper and try and progress to the next level, meaning this window was going to be very, very difficult. And the keeper we went ahead and signed was Chris Brady. Now, we've got to sign players under the age of 23, which makes signing a brand new keeper, if it's not Guillermo Restes, very, very difficult. Now, Chris Brady was £5.5 million from Chicago in America. A very, very consistent player. Doesn't like big matches, however, and I'm not very confident in Chris Brady's ability. Hopefully he can prove me wrong, but yeah, it was all we could do. There was no one else coming through the academy, and I didn't want to bend the rules to get him in. So Chris Brady is in the club, and as his brand new centre-back, Steve Ngakamu. This guy's 18 years of age, 5-star potential, signed from Nigeria. And with the scouting methods that I showed you earlier on, you can sign players like this, like I said, from Nigeria. Never would have found him without them scouting parameters, and he looks fantastic. 16 heading, 16 determination, 18 bravery, great speed, 6'1", barely determined centre-back. Is going to be an absolute superstar, just probably not in the next couple of years or here in this reboot. But welcoming Steve Ngakamu as well. Striker to come in and sort of compete with Pooch, because George Hurst probably isn't quite good enough anymore, is Mihailo Sevatovic. Now, this guy is a Serbian international who I believe is at Schalke in Serbia in real life. He's moved to Manchester City in our saved, and after one season of doing nothing in Denmark, his value went from £900,000 to 21 million, but his stats were too good to not go ahead and sign. 18 determination, 14 finishing, 13 dribbling, 13 first touch, great pace, great agility, and looked very, very good. I mean, it was a bit of a panic signing because I needed someone to rotate with Pooch, and I was worried Pooch wasn't going to be good enough in Europe. So Sevatovic, welcome to the club. Prince Anying is a brand new backup left back to Leif Davis, because Galvez, who we signed from City a few years ago for just £1 million, hasn't developed at all. So Prince Anying, £14 million, was listed for transfer, I believe. Consistent, loves a big match at Dortmund in real life. Hasn't quite progressed as maybe they hoped he would on this game. So he's going to come in and hopefully be a superstar left back for us. And last signing, Hugo Sotelo, is a central midfielder coming in, add a bit more quality to the team. 20 determination, 16 technique, 16 vision, great pace. A very, very good playmaking ability player. Loves a big match, extremely consistent. Signed from Celta Vigo in Spain for £14 million. Could hopefully be very good for us. And if not, will become one of the best midfielders in the world, purely based off that 20 determination. If he gets a lot of game time, he can pretty much go anywhere in football. So Hugo Sotelo with them sort of stats, hopefully we can see him become a superstar. Now, tactics-wise, we are setting up in the 4-2-3-1 yet again. It's been slightly tweaked from the start, very much, in fact, with the playmakers in there now, Volantes and anchors, etc. But it's Brady in goal, Williams, Zeze, Tuanzebe and Davis. Sotelo and Redondo in midfield of Clark, Hannibal, Carvalho and Sevatovic up front. The backups, we're looking at Poulsen, Clark, Ngakamu, Wolfenden, Anying, Nascimento, Humphreys, Wally, Aguili, Chaplin, Diallo and Pooch. Nice to see Chaplin is still here as well as a 30-year-old backup Premier League midfielder. 200 caps for Ipswich, club legend at this point. Can we go ahead though and win a European competition? It's the easiest one to win, and I won't have any slander on it, because if you look at West Ham a few seasons ago, or last season in fact, they loved that night out as a European champions. And I was at West Ham versus Wolves just yesterday as you watched this, and they were singing Champions of Europe. So we might as well bring that to the Super Ipswich Town, mightn't we? Yes, we shall. And it's going to be our superstar central defensive midfielder, Segundo Volante Redondo, popping up in the box 3 times to get us a hat-trick in the first half and a 3-1 victory here against Maccabi Tel Aviv. An absolutely outrageous strike from 25 yards out that time in the 17th minute makes it 2-0. Humphreys whips it in. Redondo is there to tap it home for a hat-trick in half hour in a European final. It's pretty ridiculous, and we have done the goal of making Ipswich European champions, and I'm very, very happy with how things have turned out, meaning Ipswich are in the Europa League next season, which is absolutely brilliant. And hopefully you guys on Patreon can pick it up and do much, much better than us. To mention the FA Cup again, 3rd rounded by Manchester United. We just get the worst draws possible, and it's very, very disappointing because the Carabao Cup, we actually ended up doing quite well. and then lost to West Brom on penalties. They got all the way to the final to lose. Oh, they didn't. West Ham got to the final. I saw West, who lost to Liverpool in the semi-finals, which we probably would have done as well, to be honest. But we know actually a quarter-final run in the Carabao Cup is finally something that we can say we done. And in the Premier League this season, a massive fall off into 15th place. But European football was there. 37 points minus 23 goal difference isn't great. We lost our superstar goalkeeper, and we had a lot more games to go ahead and play. So we're safe, but a very poor 5th season in the Premier League. But you guys on Patreon are now in European football, in the Europa League, as European champions. The players that stood out this season, the front four, were all fantastic. 12-8 from Jack Clark, 13-10 from Hannibal Benjamin, 10-4 for Fabio Carvalho, and 16-3 from Mihailo Sevatovic, and certainly was a better striker than the Pooch this season, who just scored 4 goals. George Hurst come off the bench once as well, which is great, and Sam Diallo, who we signed from Dynamo Kiev, has turned out very good. 24 games off the bench. Cameron Humphreys, 42 starts this season, 8 assists as well. And Leif Davis, no assists this season. Didn't hardly play a game. Very weird season, but Prince Anning looked to steal the limelight, as is Brandon Williams, who also played left back, and Harry Clark played right back. So a bit of rotation in this final season, but we've built Ipswich to European champions. Granted, it's the Conference League, but it's okay. We've done it. It's not the greatest rebuild in the world, but we've done it. We've made them European champions and 4 years safe in the Premier League. Now, if you do enjoy this rebuild, like I said at the start of the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you've not watched any other rebuilds on the channel, there was an Aston Villa rebuild just down there the other day, which I'm sure you absolutely love.